on YouTube, and welcome to another edition of Premium Takes. This is Premium Takes, episode number 21. Thank you guys so much for being here today. We got all my wonderful four horsemen with me, my other three horsemen. They can introduce themselves, starting at Mac. Let's get it.
What's going on, everybody? MacDaGiantsFan here in the building, ready for another episode. Premium Takes. Let's go.
Adam?
Here we are on this beautiful Thursday evening on Premium Takes. We about to get lit.
Let's get it, Jeff.
Welcome everybody back. Throw them fours up for the Four Horsemen. It's another episode of your favorite show and ours, Premium Takes. Let's get it.
Let's get it. And we got Miz in the building. We got Logan in the building. We got Slay in the building. What's up? Absolutely love the energy, Mac. Love the energy, Jeff. Love the energy, Adam. Let's just get into it. You guys know what we're about. We're the show that covers everything sports related. Sometimes we mix it up with different sports, but whatever's relevant at the time, whatever we're interested in at the time, is that what we're going to go for, and that's what we're going to cover today. So we got the Stanley Cup coming up. We got the Colorado Avalanche, advancing. I'm not going to sit here and act like I know what I'm talking about when it comes to hockey. That's why I got my lovely co-host, Mac, Adam, and Jeff, mostly Adam and Jeff, that's huge hockey fans. So me and Mac, we're kind of going to take the back seat here, and let's talk about the road to the Stanley Cup. Who is going to be the Colorado Avalanche? Game 5 tonight between Tampa Bay Lightning and New York Rangers. Take it away, Mac. Take it away, Adam. Take it away, Jeff.
It's going to be a lovely day in Madison Square Garden. It's a beautiful day on Thursday. It's a beautiful day in New York City. It's a beautiful day to win a hockey game, people. That's what's going to happen today. Game 5 is going to turn the test of tide right now. Okay, this is where the Rangers produce their number one spot. Their punch day ticket tonight. Because Game 5 winners usually end up going to the Stanley Cup. So let's win tonight. Let's take back home ice. And let's send Tampa Bay packing back. Let's send the Lightning back to Tampa unhappy. That's how I feel about Game 5. Jeff?
Tampa Bay has been a thorn in the Rangers' side for the past few seasons. Every time the Rangers have faced against the Tampa Bay Lightning, Rangers have made it competitive, but they can never find a way to get over the hump, and that's that Lightning team. All they got to do is you go in tonight, you got Shesterkin, arguably the best goalie in the NHL. You're in home ice.
Let's see if he plays well.
Exactly. You got that loud Madison Square Garden crowd right behind you, including our good old New York Giants coach. You know Brian Daboll's going to be in the building, along with Joe Shane, and he somehow brings that positive and winning energy over to the Madison Square Garden.
It's that bald head. It's that bald head. All the Ranger fans get to rub the bald head of Brian Daboll and get it going. See, if I were the Ranger fans, I'm bringing out the towels. I'm bringing out all the energy right now because you need this right now. You need to bring the lightning. You need to bring the energy because this is Game 5. They're already ready. Colorado's sitting there waiting. They looking. They hoping. Go get it, Rangers. Tonight you get it. Bring back home ice. Bring back home ice. This series,
ice, yeah.
Exactly. 2 games, and you're heading to the Stanley Cup. 2 games.
And this is a series where the Rangers, like we mentioned, they have trouble getting past the Lightning. This is the chance right now for the Rangers to get over and get past the demons known as the Tampa Bay Lightning.
If they don't win this game, I think it's over.
They're at home right now, where they've been able to win the first 2 games pretty easily. So they got to go over there, defend home turf, and if they get it done tonight, most of the time when you win Game 5, you have the leg up in winning the series. So if you win tonight, you can afford to lose Game 6 because you're going to be right back home in Game 7, back in Madison Square Garden, where you have all that home crowd and that energy behind you. So Rangers just got to go in tonight, play their style of hockey, play good defense. Hopefully you get a bounce-back effort for Shesterkin, and there you go. It's all about the Rangers defending their home ice and getting it done in Game 5 at home.
Let's see what happens tonight. See, the thing is, Rangers went on the road and kind of took a back seat, right? We firmly expected Tampa Bay to come up in the series and do something, whether it was tie the series or win a game in Tampa. They've done that. They squared the series off, and now here we are sitting here with a new series with the Rangers having home ice. Now, if they take care of business, they don't need to worry about anything until Game 7. Okay. Now, obviously, that's a loser's mentality. You obviously want to win back-to-back games and advance to the Stanley Cup Finals. But sometimes, in the similar with the NBA in these playoffs, sometimes the home team, or the away team takes a break off when they know that they're tied or that they're winning the game. Right? If you have home ice, you don't need to win Game 6 because we're going to go win it again in the Garden. No guarantee, but sometimes that can be the mentality. Now, I'm not saying that's how you want to play it. That's not how you want to play it at all. However, when you look at it in the grand scheme of things, that may be in the mindset that if we take care of business now, whatever happens in Tampa, we can deal with. Win, lose, or draw, because we'll have the advantage in Game 7.
I love it. Is there anything else you guys want to cover hockey related before we move on to our next subject?
I mean, I'm not trying to send the big hex, but I think the Rangers are going to win the Stanley Cup this year because I really believe they have the best goalie in hockey. And when you have the best goalie, you normally are going to be the team that's going to come out on top. And I really believe Shesterkin has had some rough games, but he is the best remaining goalie in this playoffs. And all he's got to do is just play his game. And I believe the Rangers will not only make it to the Stanley Cup, they will win the Stanley Cup. And it's going to be a very, very happy summer for Adam and the rest of the Rangers fans.
Wow.
So as far
That's
as
bold.
As far as Tampa Bay Lightning goes and New York Rangers, when was the last time any of them won the championship, won the Stanley Cup?
Rangers last won it in 1994.
Okay,
Vancouver.
so bring it back for the city. I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
They actually beat the Devils that year in a great 7-game series in 1994. Right, the year before the Devils actually won the Cup the next year. So the Stanley Cup was actually in the tri-state area for 2 years in a row. But I just think the Rangers are a very good team. It's just, can those young players continue to emerge and play well? It's the question too. I mean, they got a lot of good young talent. Some would argue that they are actually a little bit ahead of schedule in terms of their young players coming into the playoffs, but it's all really going to be dependent on that goalie situation in Shesterkin. If he can play to a level that all hockey fans know he can play to, I believe that, and I'm not even trying to sound far-fetched, I believe the Rangers are the best team left. And I think that gives the Rangers the advantage heading into the rest of the series and going into the Stanley Cup is Shesterkin and the way his play has been in goal. He's got to step it up.
I love it. So we asked everybody to bring two favorite sports moments to the table tonight. So we're going to take the time and we're going to share one of them now, and we're going to share another one later on in the show. So I'm going to begin. One of my most favorite sports moments is when Max Holloway won the featherweight championship for the first time against Jose Aldo. Max Holloway was coming off of a loss against Conor McGregor when Conor McGregor was streaking and was the prime of the UFC. He fought a long, hard battle to a decision. I know Conor got injured in that fight, so some people say that Max Holloway wouldn't have made it to the decision, but beyond the point, that's when Conor McGregor was knocking out everybody at the time. Max Holloway goes ahead and loses that fight and then just goes on an amazing streak, taking out the whole featherweight division, and then finally matching up against arguably one of the best in the world at the time with Jose Aldo, and not only beating him but knocking him out, TKO stoppage from the referee, and then following that up with the rematch and doing the exact same thing. So that's one of my favorite moments in sports, to see a person from the islands. I wasn't really a fan of BJ Penn. He was like a cocky prick. Wasn't really about him. And then when you see someone like Max Holloway actually do it from people who say Waianae is the most ghettoest area on the island of Oahu, and just people would say the hood, you know what I'm saying? So when you see a fighter come out of a hard, tough area of Waianae and put Waianae on the map, and not only that, put the state on the map. We have The Rock, we have, Bruno Mars and stuff like that. But at the end of the day, we actually have a true born Hawaiian that reps it and still lives on the island till this day. So hopefully he can go get back that strap from Alex one of these days. But that's one of my favorite moments in sports, seeing him put that featherweight strap on him. Let's turn it over to Mac.
Well, you know me, Mac the Giants fan. I'm
Yes,
the
he
oldest
did.
guy on the panel, and takes it back to 1988. You know what I mean? Yes,
I was only
indeed.
4. I was only
I
4.
wasn't even a thought.
January 31st, 1988. You know what game got played that day? It was the game we like to call the Super Bowl.
Super Bowl.
Super Bowl 22 to be exact. I thought I was going to say 21, but no, 22 to be exact. And the iconic part about this game was the Washington Redskins came out there against the Denver Broncos, and something iconic happened that day, and that was Doug Williams, the starting quarterback for the Washington Redskins, became the first African American quarterback to start a Super Bowl. Excuse me. And he went on. Not only did he become the first African American quarterback to start a Super Bowl, he went out there and had himself a day. Went out there and lit the Denver Bronco defense up, man, and became Super Bowl MVP. And it was a big day in sports at the time. I mean, it was just
When you're in trouble, call DW.
So, I mean, it was a great story. He wasn't even the Redskins' true starting quarterback. He was the backup.
Who was the quarterback? Was it Rippon?
In 87, it
88
wasn't Rippon either. It was 87 season. I'm trying to remember. I don't think it was Rippon.
Oh, right,
It was who was that dude's name? I can't. His name is getting away from me.
It's not
Jay Schrader. I think it might have been Jay Schrader.
Yeah.
I think it may have been Jay Schrader.
You're right. Right.
It was just a big iconic day in sports. You know, me at the time, and like I said, went out there, did big things, took the big opportunity. You know, took advantage of it, and I just give hats off to Doug Williams that day, man, because that was his moment in the sun, his 15 minutes of fame in the Super Bowl, because he never went on to have a great, amazing NFL career. That was basically the end of his story for the most part. But what a better stage to do it on. I mean, him and the running back that day, a little guy named Timmy Smith. The only thing he's famous for is having one of the biggest days in the history of the NFL in the history of the Super Bowl for a running back.
I think he was on our trivia. It was one of our trivia questions.
Oh yeah. So Super Bowl 22, Washington Redskins against Denver Broncos. Doug Williams serving up the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl, being the first African American quarterback to start the Super Bowl.
I love that. Let's get it, Adam.
I'm going to go with one that I talked about this afternoon, and that is 1997. The only tie the Giants had that year was against a team down in Washington. And their quarterback on the Washington Commanders, Redskins at the time, decided that when he scored a touchdown, he would jam his head into the stadium wall. And as he jammed his head into the stadium wall, it turns out he had a concussion and was out the rest of the game. So what have we learned, kids? When you score a touchdown, don't ram your head into a concrete wall, because it will hurt and you will be out of the game. That is a sports memory I'm bringing to the table today.
I love that. Let's get it, Jeff.
And I'm just going to go with one that was very near and dear and warm in my heart, and that was the 2000 NFC Championship game, Vikings-Giants, where nobody worth a damn gave the New York Giants a shot, even in their own home stadium, and thought the Vikings were just going to come in there and run us out of the building. Robert Smith, Randy Moss, Chris Carter. Oh, the Giants defense, they can't stop those guys. They're too good. There's no way.
We had the Wendy's guy at corner, Dave Thomas.
They had nobody out there. Our offense couldn't do anything. And the second Kerry Collins hit a streaking Ike Hilliard down the middle of the field for a touchdown, it was just
46 yards.
Smooth sailing for the rest of the game. The New York Giants end up throwing up 41 points on that Vikings defense, and the Vikings couldn't even muster up a single field goal against us, leading to a beautiful 41-0 NFC Championship game. And
Let me tell you a
One of the
story
best
about that.
moments as a
About
New York
that day.
Giants.
Yes. Max, bringing it back.
Story
Yes.
time. Story time.
Let's hear it,
Because I
man.
remember that day. I had to work that day. I absolutely had to work. I couldn't get off with nothing I could do about it. So I set my. This is back in VCR time still.
It's
I
a
had
It's a Saturday,
still.
you think, right?
So I set my VCR to record the game. You know what I mean? Had everything good. I was at work. Kept staying away from the radios, everything. I didn't want to hear shit. Nobody tell me nothing about this game. I don't want to hear nothing about what's going on. All day working long grade, getting ready, about to get ready to get off, go home, watch this football game. No sooner I couldn't get out the door at my job, my fucking cousin calls my job. And absolutely spoils the game for me right at the end of my work day.
That sucks.
That's funny.
But needless to say, I still went home and enjoyed the game anyway.
No, it was beautiful.
That was the last game we could enjoy because 2 weeks later, we were eating it.
Not enjoyable, yeah. But that's my sports memory. The amazing, fantastic, wonderful victory against the Minnesota Vikings, 41-0 in the NFC Championship with a rockin', loud, and raucous Giant Stadium right behind them with LT, Carl Banks, Harry Carson, all those former Giants greats on the sidelines helping cheer and root and get those current Giants at that time going crazy and rowdy. And, oh, man, it was a great moment. Great moment.
Let's get it. So that was one of our most favorite moments in sports, guys, that are on in the show. We'll bring you guys another one. That being said, let's move on. I know baseball is in full swing right now, so let's talk some baseball. Let's give some Yankees and Mets updates to our fam that's watching. Me, I'm not a baseball fan, so I'm going to let these guys handle it. So you can begin, Mac.
The New York Mets. I tell you, they're up there. I believe they probably fell back in the second in the National League now, in the National League standings now. But they've had a rough couple of nights, getting banged up against by the San Diego Padres. Went on to lose their second series of the season last night when they got their ass stomped by the Padres for the second night in a row. But I feel like I still believe in this team. It's baseball. It's a long season. Teams go through this. Every team's gonna go through a little bit of this, regardless of how good they are. So I'm not gonna let myself get all overly concerned at the effort I've seen the last couple of nights. I mean, Pete Alonso's been out of the lineup, and it's just that's going to change things and change the dynamic of things regardless. And then as for Max Scherzer, you hear some good things about him warming up, being able to get some bullpen sessions in. And so things are looking like it's heading in the right direction there. Hearing good things about DeGrom's recovery. So hopefully we get these guys back not long after maybe the All-Star break or something like that. And we'll see what this team can do for down the home stretch, man. I think this is still obviously by far the best team in the National League East. No matter what, I can't imagine them, not winning this division at the very least. But we'll see, man. It's been a little shaky against the little bit better competition that they've been going against the last couple series. I mean, they split with the Dodgers in a 4-game series, and then they just outright lost this series to the Padres, and that's two of the better teams in the National League right there. Well, Dodgers are probably the best team in the National League, and then the Padres are a pretty damn good team as well. So, I mean, a little bit step in class from what the Mets have been playing most of the NL East teams and such. So, let's see what you got, Jeff, on the situation, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's just part of your typical Major League Baseball season where you're going to have teams that are going to be starting off hot or starting struggling, and then you're going to have other streaks where it's the other way around. It's just part of baseball. And right now, Mets are struggling a little bit. I mean, Pete, like you mentioned before, Mac, Pete Alonso being out of the lineup a couple of days, that does impact the lineup more than anybody thinks because he's that big thumper, that big bat in the middle of the lineup, and it sort of bounces off that lineup completely. And if he's not in there, it puts a little bit more force on a guy like McNeil and Lindor, who aren't traditionally power hitters or, middle of the lineup guys. So they struggled a little bit to score some runs. Chris Bassett had a little bit of a rough game last night. He got beaten up by the Padres. So, I mean, this is just what happens typically in a Major League Baseball season. You just have teams that, go up and down. It's just part of, the dynamic of baseball. And this is a team that's also playing without their two best pitchers right now and have been playing with their two best pitchers for about a month. And, I mean, just the news of DeGrom and Scherzer at least starting to get some bullpen sessions and look like they're on their way back and potentially could return sometime after the All-Star break. What's going on, Mitch? they could be returning sometime after the All-Star break or maybe mid-July is a good sign. And I mean, it's really just about the Mets against better competition, just staying above float. They have a little bit of a down streak. That's all right. As long as they can, stay above water, continue to play consistent baseball, and not just go into a deep nosedive like they've done in prior years, which is the reason why they haven't been able to make the playoffs at all. So they just got to, continue to do what they're doing, hit consistently, stay as healthy as you can, get good and solid pitching because they were doing that except for the past few nights, and wait until they get the reinforcements back, especially in that starting rotation. Because when you get guys like DeGrom and Scherzer back in that, at the top of that Mets rotation, it's going to make a world of a difference. And you plug Alonso back in there, and plus we're not even factoring in what could happen as the trade deadline gets closer and the Mets decide to add a couple of bullpen arms or even maybe a big bat to go with the team they currently have because they might think they're ready for a deep playoff or possibly a World Series run. So just stay above float, try to stay as healthy as you can, and wait until the reinforcements come. But I'm not worried about the Mets at all. They're still playing pretty solid baseball, even after losing the last couple of series.
Absolutely. And before you go, Adam, make sure you guys go check out Mitch. I believe he is one of the founders of Hardcore Sports along with AK. I know it's a new up-and-coming network that you guys all want to go check out. So make sure you guys check out Mitch and Hardcore
Mitch, my dog. How you doing, Mitch?
Go ahead.
The Bronx Bombers are doing what they normally do this time of year, and that is destroy every opponent in their wake. The problem that I have with the Yankees is when the playoffs come around, will they still be that same team? Because that usually happens down the stretch, and it happened every year so far with this Yankees team. Whether it's the pitching falling off, the hitting not producing come September, that's what I worry about. And then what I also worry about is Aaron Boone. I know people like to him, but sometimes his decision making is questionable. So right now we're riding high. Tops in our division, right? But we'll see what happens come September. I like the Yankees now. Judge, all rise. He's knocking them out of the park. I love that guy. Favorite Yankee right now. I know that's cliche, but man, I didn't have too many favorite Yankees. This guy is one of them. He does everything right. So we'll see what happens, man. I mean, again, like we said, we have a rival team in New York that's doing well. We'll see how our pitching holds up, and because offense works right now because it's June. When it gets colder and the bats get a little tighter and the race gets a little tighter, will they still be this hot on a hot streak? So I don't know. We'll see. It's going to be a fun summertime, though. That's for sure. In the New York area.
I love it. So that's all of our baseball updates for the show. And let's move. Why don't we move into? There's a lot of stuff that's been going on in the WWE universe. We had multiple pay-per-views. I know the boys been excited to talk about that. So we had the Stand and Deliver for NXT. We had the Hell in a Cell for WWE, and we have another one. I believe with AEW. I don't know. I'm going to let Jeff fill this in on that. But I guess there's a new brand now called Rampage or something. So I don't really know. So I shouldn't be talking about it. So I'm gonna let the boys handle that. Which one you want to tackle first. Jeff, if you want to begin, I know you're the most avid WWE fan here, and I know you love it. So I'll let you go.
We all.
I don't know if I.
Yeah, you guys are nothing against you. I know you guys all.
A lot of questionable things that promotion does. I mean, I don't know if you guys heard the news.
He means you just like the art.
I don't know if you guys heard the news. Yeah, you pretty much. I don't know if you guys heard the recent news that there's apparently more NXT releases going to be coming soon.
Yeah,
more
I
NXT
heard that.
Talent that could be thrown out on the street. I mean, it's unfortunate. It's unfortunate that WWE continues to do this, but
I wonder why they have so much money. They're a global entity. I mean, why? Because
they can. That's why. Because it's Vince McMahon's company. Vince McMahon can do.
Well, why are you going to let? But why are you going to let these? Why are you going to let these up and coming talents from NXT, who are probably the cream of the crop right now in terms of your entertainment value programming? Let them go, and then let's say AEW picks them up, because guess what? They're going to be hiring. Because if you watch the Broken Skull podcast with Cody Rhodes and Stone Cold, you understand that AEW is going to pick the bones and the carcass of WWE. So why are you going to let your talent just walk somewhere else?
Because Vince McMahon apparently is giving them an edict for at least you have to get better within 6 months, especially on NXT. If you can't show any improvement after 6 months or convince them that you're going to be a part of the future and be a potential main event or even a solid mid-carder, you're gone. And that's apparently bullshit. The edict that the WWE is going by. I think it's ridiculous. I mean, how many people are going to be able to improve that much in a 6-month span when it normally takes some talents 2, 3, 4 years until they eventually break out, and it just need that one storyline, that one match, that one, promo that puts them over the top. I mean, Becky Lynch was somebody that was floundering around for her first few years in the WWE. It only took until Nia Jax broke her nose at Survivor Series a couple of years ago until she developed into the biggest thing in the women's division, the man, big time Bex, whatever you want to call her now. So, I mean, you got to let these talents actually be able to find themselves, develop. And a lot of these people, they're not born trained wrestlers. They're people that were former fitness models, former athletes, former
touch on that
amateur.
Right quick. Part of the problem with some of that, with the creative thing right there, is because you're not allowing your talent to have enough control over their own creative. You're just telling people what you want them to be instead of allowing people to be something they're comfortable doing. Doing gimmicks that they're comfortable pulling off, being like something that's more true to themselves, as opposed to you just, I want you to be the Godfather. I mean, just for an example, you know what I mean? Which was a gimmick that he did love. That was the gimmick. If you know it's about his career, how his career went, that was the gimmick finally that he embraced and truly loved. You know what I mean? And it worked for him, turned into a WWE Hall of Famer. I mean, that guy went through multiple different kinds of. He was multiple characters over the course of his career before he landed on that Godfather gimmick, and that was mostly his own idea. Because I don't know if you guys know the backstory behind that the Godfather. He used to own a lot of strip clubs and things like that out in Vegas and shit like that. It was a perfect character for his true personality, and he made it work. He ran with it. And if you give these guys give this talent a little more control over their own creative, maybe they can it'll allow them to perform better. But when you just want to be so in the mix, I get it, it's your company. I understand. You sign the checks. But allow people to be who they are. You can't just force the square peg in a round hole. You just can't, it just can't always make it work. And WWE needs to make it a little bit more about the wrestling. I mean, it just gets to a point where it's too many backstage segments. Too many. You watch an episode of Raw on for 3 hours, you're only getting a little over an hour worth of actual wrestling. The rest is all little in-ring talk shows or backstage segments and this, that.
Recaps.
It's just ridiculous. Recaps of what happened 10 minutes ago. I don't need a recap of what happened 10 minutes ago. So, shit like that.
I'll give you an absurd thing that happened, Mac. Remember, it was Rhea Ripley and I believe it was Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan were both making their entrances. And what did the WWE do? They had a recap of one segment. Then they had like another person do a promo while Liv Morgan's sitting in the ring. Then they had they were doing they were saluting the troops when Rhea Ripley came in. So then you had the crowd cheering USA after that. About 10, 15, 20 minutes later, then you finally start the match, which lasted like 10 minutes. And you had a 20-minute interval while they were making their entrances.
So long, I forgot there was a match. It was so long, I forgot there was a match. That was so crazy. I remember that exactly. We went through like 2 commercial breaks before you got them both in the ring.
It was sickening.
So crazy.
And to get to your point before, there are some talents that actually get to be themselves, but Vince McMahon has to trust them in order to allow them to be themselves. Because if you can't get Vince McMahon's trust and be able to be like, all right, Vince, well, I got a gimmick here. I think it's going to get over really well with the fans. Or it's like you have a high standard. You like a hat. you're high on Vince McMahon's list, he'll allow you to have your own gimmick, like Roman Reigns or the Usos or like somebody on that ilk, Becky Lynch, Charlotte. If you're on that level, then Vince McMahon will allow you a little leeway to have your own gimmick. Even Sami Zayn's been able to do that a little bit because I know Sami Zayn, this is actually what is part of Sami Zayn's life, and I believe it's Kevin Owens too. But a lot of these talents, they're just handed scripts in the back, told them to read off of this, giving them ridiculous gimmicks, and Vince McMahon is just probably like, you know what, go out there, make it work. If you can't make it work, you're going to be off TV, sitting in catering, and then eventually, we're going to have no use for you, and we're going to let you go. That's just part of the WWE world. But, I mean, there's no way you can give talents, especially in NXT, when a lot of these talents are still developmental and are still, trying to understand the WWE aspect of things. A lot of these talents aren't going to be able to pick it up that quickly. And you have to allow these people to hone into becoming WWE stars and understanding what it's like to be in the WWE because they're not naturally trained wrestlers. They don't understand it when they first come in, and some it takes time. But say I'm just coming off Tatum Paxley. She wrestled on NXT this past Wednesday against Alba Fire. She's got a nice look to her. She didn't really do much. She's going to take a little bit more time, I guess, to develop. Who the hell knows? Maybe she cuts a promo, has a look. Maybe she has a great match. She can become one of the biggest things in NXT. You don't know. You have to allow people to actually have the time to develop into something. You have to give them time, and 6 months is really not enough. But this is WWE. This is nothing out of the ordinary, and this is how Vince McMahon, Bruce Pritchard, John Laurinaitis, Nick Khan, this is how they do things backstage. They're just going to keep rotating talent in and out and just continue to give AEW more resources. But AEW has enough talent as it is that they don't know what the hell to do with at times as well. So I
think they're turning into the new WCW.
They are the new WCW. 1,000%.
Because WCW had the same problem of boatload of talent, but nowhere to go. Then they make up all these titles: TNT, ATV, STV, STD. Who knows? You know what I'm saying? Like, it's crazy. Yeah, I slipped that in there. That was really a Freudian slip. You guys know. Anyways, that's why I was making a joke. But anyways, let's move on to the talent that is there.
Yeah.
And probably one of the most legendary things I've ever seen in my life was Cody Rhodes in the Hell in a Cell match. Now, I agree with you, Jeff. Like, I liked Cody Rhodes in it. Well, not when he first started, but when he became Stardust and stuff, I'm like, yo, this guy's trying. He's doing. And they did something against Chris Jericho in a cage match where he basically did a moonsault off the damn top of the cage, and he missed Jericho by a little bit, but Jericho sold it. And I was just like, man, Cody Rhodes is like that. He can do that. He can do all that stuff. And then, of course, he leaves because he doesn't like the Stardust character, sets up AEW, comes back as the American Nightmare. And boy, let me tell you, man, I have so much respect for that guy. It's not even funny. Like, main event his ass today if he wasn't injured. Not only was if he wasn't injured, the match still was great. The match would have been great regardless of the injury. But the fact that he had that injury, even my girlfriend my wife watching it with me, she goes, damn, he's going to wrestle like that? I'm like, yeah. So, man, hats off to Cody Rhodes.
That was good stuff. I mean, yeah, he just ascended to a different level with that performance on Sunday night, man, because regardless of anything what a doctor might have told him you going into this match, like, you can't injure it anymore, the fact of the matter is that had to hurt like a son of a bitch, man. And that dude went out there and he still put on a show for the fans, went out there and just conducted his business as a professional, man. And, I mean, it was the best match of the night to me by far. It was finally a main event that lived up to its billing as the main event of a WWE pay-per-view. The first time in a while, I feel like, that's happened. And it was great. I mean, great effort from Cody Rhodes, man. It was something to see for a wrestling fan, man, because people out here throw the fake word around a lot when you're talking about professional wrestling. And sure, like, scripted and predetermined finishes.
Yeah.
But these guys truly put their bodies on the line, man. They absolutely put everything on the line, and they risk serious injury, as you see with what Cody Rhodes was dealing with, man. And he went out there and he still competed against one of the best, another one of the guys that's one of the top guy, man, Seth Rollins. And he
Doesn't get enough credit.
He not only did it on Sunday night at the pay-per-view, he went back out there and did another spot on Monday night and took more hits, took more of a beating, more hits to that same injury. You know what I mean? Yep. So,
and let me just, when you're done, Mac, I just want to say something. Sorry.
I was gonna say I had my theories about, like I said, because clearly he didn't look like he should have been medically cleared to be in the ring. But at the same time, a doctor probably told him, "Look, man, you can't injure it anymore, but it's gonna hurt like a son of a bitch.
Yeah.
If you can deal with, if you can tolerate the pain, go out there and do whatever we got to do." And I'm assuming that's what he did, man, because it just it was phenomenal, man. He did not hold back a bit, and he had no use of his right arm whatsoever in that match. No use of his right arm whatsoever.
I just wanted to make this before Jeff, you jump in. It was a torn bicep off the bone, people. If we didn't explain the injury, so the fact that you can go out there and do that is remarkable. I just wanted to update the injury. Sorry, Jeff. Go ahead.
It was actually that and a torn pectoral muscle too. His entire pec. It was a pec muscle, and his entire arm was black and blue. And when Mac and I did the stream for Hell in the Cell, we were both like, "Is that makeup? There's no way like it could be that bad a bruising, because it looks like you look at the injury when it first happened, like there's no way that could be real, because his whole entire right arm, his chest, his pec, everything was bruised up." And the way he was still able to go tough it out, take some brutal shots in that match, go out there and just have one hell of a match. And and kudos to Seth Rollins too, because Seth Rollins put on a great performance as well. Both those gentlemen did a hell of a job in that whole match, storytelling and everything. But Cody Rhodes, that guy earned everybody's respect and then some for what he was able to do, to go out there in that immense amount of pain and still be willing to put on a phenomenal match, take some of the spots that he did in the ring, including that table spot that I actually cringed when he actually did that. I'm like, oh, God, Cody, don't do it. And he actually still took that spot, took a couple of shots directly at his pec, and then, like Mac mentioned before, the spot that they did on this past Monday night when Seth Rollins hit him in the back of the head with the sledgehammer, and then took that sledgehammer and started smashing it into his chest. I mean, Cody Rhodes is dedicated to the business. Cody Rhodes loved the business, and that's the type of wrestler that you want to build your company around, is somebody that will do anything and will do everything to help out the business and help out the promotion that he currently is in. So 1,000% major kudos to Cody Rhodes. What a phenomenal performance. And this dude is beyond. I'm so happy I was able to be a fan and watch him do that match tonight. Go ahead, Mac.
And one more thing right quick I was going to say about that match as well. Cody Rhodes, we're giving all the props to Cody Rhodes as he deserves them, you know what I mean? But Seth Rollins, once again, tipped the hat to Seth Rollins, because that's also had to be a pretty uncomfortable feeling going into the ring with somebody that's literally injured that badly, and you also having to do your job, and you're probably genuinely, like, as a human, concerned, like, I don't want to injure this man anymore. I don't want to hurt him anymore than what he's already dealing with. So tip of the hat to Seth Rollins, because that had to be really difficult to put on the great match that he assisted in putting on with Cody Rhodes that night, man.
I think that was one of the reasons why he did it, because he knew who he was working with, right? I mean, I read an article where he was Cody Rhodes, and we were talking about professional. I know we had a screaming match with somebody this morning about how a professional acts, right? Needing to be perfect. Well, this guy is the antithesis of a professional, because he said it was obligated on the card. You came to see Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins. Well, guess what? You're going to get Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins come hell or high water. So, like Jeff said, that's a guy you want to have represent your company.
Absolutely.
And
I love it. Go right ahead, Jeff.
And I hope Cody Rhodes can be able to heal up as fast as possible. Can we talk about Judgment Day? Because I want to go into detail on what happened with Judgment Day. I mean, I don't know how you guys feel about it, but I really don't know what to think on what's going on with Judgment Day. Part of me kind of likes it, because I do think Finn Balor, out of all these people, in terms of potential main roster guy, deserves the type of push that it looks like he's going to get, and it might result, especially with the Cody Rhodes injury, a Money in the Bank briefcase for Finn. But at the same time, I mean, it just felt like the Judgment Day just came together, if they had something going with Edge and Priest and Ripley. Edge was that guy that was just be able to command the mic, be that mentor, be able to mentor these two other talents and mold them into main event stars. And then all of a sudden, after a month, because of some things that happened backstage, either Edge just didn't agree with some of the creative decisions that were going to be going forward, that they decided to pull the plug and take Edge out of the group immediately and replace him with Finn Balor. I still think it could be good, but the one thing I wonder with in terms of Judgment Day is you're going to have somebody that's going to be able to get the respect, have the crowd booing them naturally, and not get that get off TV heat. Because I like Finn Balor. His last NXT run, he was great on the mic. He did an awesome job. When he's able to be the heel and be himself, you have something. But I really just wonder now if Finn Balor is going to be able to command the mic and be able to keep the crowd interested enough as much as Edge did, because Edge is just one of the best on the mic, especially
I'd like
recently.
to say something on that too. Nothing to take away from Edge, because I think Edge is one of the best of all time. Even though like I grew up in the era of loving John Cena, that's kind of sad to say now, but I love John Cena growing
Not
up,
at all.
and the rivalry with Edge. You know what I'm saying? But I just think Edge is a
It
phenomenal.
is sad.
But it is sad. But at the end of the day, I'm not as invested into you guys as the WWE. Like I didn't really watch the last two pay-per-views. I haven't really been following as much. But I just think that the superstars I like just get shoved to the side, whether it be Alexa Bliss, whether it be Finn Balor, whether it be I'm kind of liking Drew McIntyre now. He seems to be a center of a lot of things, and Kevin Owens, you know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, like I am a big fan of Finn Balor. I just love his entrance. I love the way he wrestles. I think he's a super underrated in the sense of the way they use him. Then you have that kind of roster, and I love AJ Styles too. I don't want to leave him out. But like with Finn Balor, I just when I turned it on after not watching all these years back in 2000, I believe it was 16, 17 or something like that. Like when he had his whole demon Finn Balor, and he had his whole like his music, dun, 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 and his mic skills, like his promo skills. I think if you was to obviously. Edge is Edge, so he's in his own lane. But if you're gonna replace someone of that statue, Finn Balor, you just had him lose against Tyson Fury or whatever his name is, Austin the Theory. I'm gonna go Theory nowadays, but I kind of not like what they did with him, and to bring him in Judgment Day. Like obviously, I don't watch as much as you guys, but I might want to watch more now that they actually have some kind of spot for him, to get some airtime. But we'll see how it goes, because like you guys, I think Edge was phenomenal for that role. And like I did like the early on what I did see of Judgment Day. I did like what I seen with whole Damian Priest thing, and I don't know. I'm a fan of Finn Balor, and I'm gonna probably check it out and see how it goes.
Well, it's just typical WWE bullshit. Mm-hmm. Is what I call this.
You're right.
It's not a slight. It's not a slight against Finn Balor. I love Finn Balor.
Yeah.
But this is another latest example of WWE. They dangle something out there. They get you loving it, and then they just fucking take it away from you.
Yep.
It's just what they do. It's what he seems to get off on. It's I don't understand. You put together an amazing faction that did not need to be disrupted in any way, but yet you disrupt it anyway. Now, granted, all full disclosure, I love that if you're going to do that, at least it's somebody like Finn Balor. I do disagree a little bit with you, Jeff, because Finn Balor, I think, is more than capable of commanding the microphone. When he grabs that mic and he starts speaking, he usually spits gold, you know what I mean? So I'm not concerned about that part as much as you are, honestly. I think he'll be able to definitely not only carry this faction in the ring, out of the ring as far as with the mic skills. I think Finn Balor has that. I think he's perfectly fine in that situation, to be honest. But I just feel like I just get tired. That's why it's so hard for me to invest all my energy in WWE as a wrestling fan, because that's what they do. They just tease you. They just tease you and tease you, but they never just really want to just give it all to you, man. They don't. I feel like it's almost selfish of them in a sense, because this faction, they got immediate heat. For the second it was formed when it was still just Edge and Damian Priest.
And not go away heat, but natural heat.
Why would you want to go away from that so soon? So quickly, when you could have added Finn Balor to the mix.
Yeah.
You could have just added him to the mix and then made it even that much more of a dominant faction. But no, we had to go the route of no, we don't need Edge in there at all anymore. Let's get him out of there.
Typical. Hey, listen, I'm disappointed like Mac is, man. So disappointed because I love Edge. He's one of my favorites. I thought they were doing something here. We even spoke about this a few weeks ago. Hey, do you think they're going to do anything to break this faction up? And maybe I shouldn't have said it, or we shouldn't have asked about it, because 3 weeks later, here we are. Vince McMahon's like, "Hey, great idea, guys. Premium Take said we should break it up. Let's go." But geez, it's like it didn't even, like Max said, didn't even get a chance to fester. However, I do like Finn Balor. So if there was a choice to kick somebody out, at least they used the guy I liked. And the other guy I would have liked in there would have been AJ Styles. He would have been, to me, another guy that I could have seen do it. Although AJ doesn't have a dark gothic side to him, so maybe I don't know. Maybe you guys know better than I do.
Not like that kind of dark side. He's done some great heel work in his day. He's done some great heel work in his day, but he's not like that kind of
gothic or something like that. Yeah, it's kind of like mysterious. So Finn Balor is great. The only problem I have is what are you gonna do? Like Max said, if they brought Finn Balor on to help enhance his career, because I'm like, perfect guy to bring in to enhance. Edge will make this guy a friggin' bona fide star, right? There will be no questions because he'll be protéged by this guy, and bang, we're gonna have a new title picture. Well, now here we go. We'll have to see what happens going forward. I heard a rumor, Cheese, that Booker T wants them to bring back the Brood and have a Brood versus Judgment Day kind of clash. We'll see what happens, but I'm a little disappointed in Edge. However, there is something I thought about. Finn Balor did have a run-in with Roman Reigns. And so I'm not saying this will happen, but maybe putting Finn Balor in the Judgment Day with his own faction can go up against the Bloodline in a fair fight when he has Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley. I mean, she can't really hit guys, but she can be a distraction of some sort, right? And at least the advantage. There'll be a little bit more of an advantage.
Stomping Edge on Monday night.
Okay, never mind. Listen, the advantage is she can hit them and they can't hit her, right? So beat up them Usos. But that's basically my thought. I'm really disappointed because, like I said, I'm like, man, this is gonna be one of the things I look forward to every Raw. Is seeing Edge and this new Judgment Day. What is their song gonna be? It's Edge's voice. And they're gonna have to change their music now.
Yeah, it's just I don't know. It's
typical WWE.
That's a great word, frustrating. You'll make something really cool.
Premium Takes word of the day, frustrating.
Just break it up. Just break it up for no reason.
Word of the day.
I mean, no reason that we know. I don't know what goes on behind the scenes exactly, but
it's frustrating though.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
They were together for a month, just 1 month, and you do this. You couldn't even let the group just.
How long were they together, Jeff? I'm just kidding.
A month. You couldn't even let this group build some momentum. I mean, like you guys were saying before, I got my hand on my head because it just aggravates me so much. You could have let this group add Finn Balor to there, let them run down everybody on Raw and SmackDown. You could have Edge make Finn Balor a superstar. Damian Priest wins a mid-card title. Rhea Ripley takes over that Raw Women's division. You have them run around and run over everybody in WWE. And then eventually Finn Balor decides, I've had enough of listening to Edge. And then that's when you do the angle where they take out Edge and get him out of the group. But no, we got to do it after 1 month because I don't like this, what's going on. They're getting too popular. It's time to create a change. Get Edge out of that group. I want Finn. It's just, I'm so sick of it. It's like with Mac and Adam, and you said Zion. This damn company just can't let things continue to get over organically. And if they would just let things develop and let things go for the next month, 2, 3, 4. Let the crowds be happy with what they have. Dude, actually have a product that would be somewhat watchable. But they don't do that because Vince McMahon, like Mac just said earlier, he's too busy dangling the carrot over there because he knows fans will still run back because of the WWE.
I think we should have Jeff do a segment in his Vince McMahon voice, like introducing the WWE segment. Oh, here we go. We're introducing the WWE. I think it would be pretty funny to have because, Jeff, I look forward to your Vince McMahon in the backstage area impressions. It's great. Love it.
I'm so sick. I'm so sick of it. I really just – this company, it's just – they could easily be the best company in the world with a snap of their finger. They can make.
But I think that's the problem.
Look like nothing.
The arrogance. The arrogance of WWE. It's the arrogance of the WWE that has made them this way. They're shoving down this product down our throats, saying you're going to like it no matter what because we're the WWE.
He can buy himself out of any problems he runs into.
Right. Yeah. Look, he has John Cena coming back in 2 weeks. I mean, come on. Like, what is John Cena going to do besides push somebody else down the roster? Is that guy going to have a title run? Because he already got beaten by Roman Reigns. There's no point in bringing him back to do that. Okay? Like,
John Cena's coming back to put over Austin Theory. That's it. He's coming back. He's going to have a match against Theory at SummerSlam. Theory's going to beat him, and it's going to make Theory into a bigger star. That's why Cena's coming back.
That's what you needed him for?
Austin Theory. Yeah, to make Austin Theory look like a bigger star because he beat John Cena. That's what they've been teasing.
But how about you just let the kid develop? Why you always got to throw an ex-legend in there? It's like when I see Goldberg walk through the damn curtain. I'm like, man, go to the retirement home already, dog. Like, I don't need to see you.
We shouldn't be seeing him in WWE no more.
Why? He stopped? Or he's
no longer under contract. He's
no
longer
under contract
with WWE.
How long until they sign him back, Mac?
Look, they're going to have one more obstacle for Roman Reigns. Here's the problem with Roman Reigns. First off, you're doing the exact thing you talked about with Brock Lesnar. You're not showing up to your events. You're getting these minor bookings. I'm tired of this guy. It's time for a new champion. Give me something. Even Bobby Lashley, who I didn't agree with as a champion at first because I was like, man, do I really like Bobby Lashley? He turned on me. I'm like, man, this guy, he really can hold the belt. He really is this good. He's not just some muscle-bound guy. I knew he was good, but like –
give me a world champion that can do more than 3 moves.
Right.
Over.
The Superman punch, the spear, and then the give me that break.
It's ridiculous.
I feel like he's the Shield on steroids. He talks all arrogant, him and his freaking ivory teeth, his ivory implants. I'm like, listen, man, you didn't have them teeth before, and just because you got them now doesn't mean I'm going to like you. You know what I'm saying? Give me a break.
You want to make a new star? Have Matt Riddle beat him at SummerSlam and make Matt Riddle the Universal World whatever champion it is called now. Make Matt Riddle a star because he's over right now. Listen to all of Riddle's segments. Listen to when Riddle comes out. You hear the crowd chanting, bro. The people are behind him because of the whole Randy Orton stuff.
420, bro.
Supposed to be about building new stars. You have the opportunity to build a new star when you have Matt Riddle there way over, and you can have him go over a guy like Roman Reigns and finally end the Tribal Chief's long reign as champion. But nope, Matt Riddle's just going to be another one of those guys like Drew McIntyre will be, like Randy Orton and everybody else until Roman Reigns gets to The Rock, because that's where the end game is. Roman Reigns versus The Rock is going to be the end game for this whole entire program that's going on with Reigns. So that's it, but you have an opportunity to make a superstar out of Matt Riddle, but they won't do that because Vince McMahon is too scared to try and trust and let other these people get a chance to hold the torch and break through that proverbial glass ceiling.
Well, we'll see come Money in the Bank. We'll see what his direction might be come Money in the Bank.
It's sickening. It pisses me off.
Here's the thing, too, guys. Like, totally understand the frustration there. That's why I'm not saying that's why I don't watch it no more, but it's hard for me to invest 7 hours a week, including NXT, right? So that's 5 hours in the 2 with NXT for a product that is half-assed. I do like it. Don't get me wrong. I do enjoy it, and I don't blame anybody that sits there and watches it.
Stop crushing my dreams, Joe.
But if if Adam and Jeffy was to open their eyes to a whole new world, a product that is not stale, a product that is fresh, and a product that you are surprised every night. We're just going to review this real fast. We have up and coming fights this weekend that we're going to talk about. I know Jeff and Adam are not really UFC fans, but I asked if they can bear with us while we get to this. We're not going to cover every fight, but I know me and Mac are pretty avid UFC fans. And
it's all good. Mac looks like he just doesn't want to talk anything WWE anymore. Mac looks pissed off right now just even thinking about it. I see his face right now. He's like, fuck the WWE.
We got a major event going down with UFC 275, and I hope that Jeff, maybe and Adam will have the time to take the time to watch it. It is going to be a 2-night championship event, not 2 nights.
Is it on pay-per-view?
It is on pay-per-view, but
don't worry. I can't afford it.
Don't worry, Adam. I got you. Don't worry about that. That being said, talk to me after, and we'll work something out.
I heard that.
That being said, we got the main card. We got the main fight of night, main event, Glover Teixeira versus Yuri Prochazka. I think Yuri Prochazka is going to be the next champion of the light heavyweight division. Do I think that Glover has what it takes to take out Yuri? Yeah, because Glover been showing that he has entered a late prime in his career. I mean, like, this guy was a 500 kind of fighter in the UFC before going on this streak where he's just murdering people left and right. And I'm very surprised on the names that he took out. But we have a young guy in Yuri Prochazka that is just showing the future of fighting and the future of this sport. So for me personally, I got Yuri Prochazka winning pretty easily against Glover Teixeira. I'm not going to sit up here and act like, I just want to discount Glover Teixeira because, like I said, he's been surprising us lately. But I just feel that Yuri's going to be too much pressure, and Yuri can show that he can take a hit and keep on walking you down. So I would love to get Mac's opinion on that, but I think Yuri's going to win pretty easily.
I mean, I think he's going to win. I don't know about the easily part. I don't know about that because Glover's coming in here and he's not coming in. He's going to be coming in here throwing the wood. He's not be playing.
Absolutely.
He's not going to be playing. So.
And he's the champion.
I mean, I do like, the P name. But at the same time, he's a bad man. But I wouldn't dismiss Teixeira, man. He's a veteran. He's a stud, and he's earned this opportunity, man. See who's gonna be the new king of the lightweight division. So. Heavyweight division. So
listen, and I know that Zion said the sport's not predictable or boring. I mean, there are some UFC fights and boxing fights that you go there, you pay money, and it's over in 30 seconds. You know what I'm saying? So I mean, both sports can come in and disappoint. It's just a matter of what.
Rodney.
Absolutely right.
Rodney, haven't seen you in a while, man. Good to see you.
Let's get it. You're absolutely right on that. Absolutely right on that, Adam. Let's work on to the next fight. We got Valentina. I'm not even going to attempt that. Versus Tila Santos. I think Tila Santos is coming off a pretty good streak. I mean, like, she is 19-1. But to be honest with you guys, know about her, but don't really know about her. And I just think Valentina has shown that she's just on another level with these females. Now, do I think that Tila has a shot? Absolutely. Anybody has a shot on any given day. But at the end of the day, I just think that Valentina is the more prepared fighter, the better fighter when it comes to stand up. I know Tila Santos is pretty good. If you take a look right now, like she's been whooping some ass in the UFC and coming in at 19-1. Rear naked choking in her last fight against notable. Let's get that Dumbledore thing out of the way. Against notable contenders, but not the contenders in the standards of what Valentina has been facing. That being said, I can see it go to a decision, but we can see what happens. But I'm going to give it to Valentina in the decision.
Well, I also am a little more familiar with Valentina. I've seen her fight a couple of times. I know she's a tough chick. And with some of the things I've been hearing about this Santos chick, man, she's up and coming, man, like big time, ready to be that next big star in the women's UFC division, man. So I think she may actually ascend to her on this night, man, and get the job done here in the co-main event.
I love it. We have a bunch of fights on this card, guys. We're not going to take the time to cover all of them, but we're going to cover at least two. Before we get into that Ray Lee Yang fight, I do want to talk about Brandon Allen versus Jacob. I'm just looking at Brandon Allen, and he has struggled lately in the UFC, but he's a fighter that I can see being the future of this sport. Not in the 10 of winning for the title anytime soon, but if he works his way up, he's still young and he can become. He's 26 years old. He is almost streaking, so he has a couple of more fights before people start taking notice. But he had fought some hard competition in his UFC career, but I'm excited to see him get it back on pace. Put together a three-fight win streak, and hopefully he can do that against Jacob, and he can work his way up to hopefully the top 15 eventually. Is there you want to cover that fight, or is there any other fights that you see that you really want to break down before we move into the Ray Lee?
Oh no, we can go to the
Ray Lee. Let's get it. We got Ray Lee versus Joanna. Joanna, once a long point of time ago, I used to be a huge Joanna fan. I used to love what she stood for and stuff like that, and I still kind of do. But there was a time where she just went straight like demon mode, and she never ever been able to recover. In her prime, she was unbeatable. She fought more focused, but the level of competition in the women's division has improved to the point where it almost passed her by. Now, this is a rematch. The first fight was absolutely outstanding with Ray Lee and Joanna going the full distance. I believe over 500 punches was thrown in that fight. So if you guys want to see a fast-paced action female fight, this is the fight. We have two ex-champions fighting each other for the second time in the second rematch. I'm probably going to give it to Ray Lee again here because I just think Ray Lee is the better fighter at this point in her career, but I would love to see Max's opinion on it.
Absolutely team Ray Lee on this one. Man. Like, I mean, it's pretty much what you said. I think it just at this stage, she just got a little bit more right now left in the tank than Joanna, man. But yeah, you're right. Everything you said about her, she's been a presence in the women's division in UFC for quite some time now, man. But right now, I think that time is up. So I think Ray Lee takes this one.
Let's get it. Well, that's our little weekly review, preview of UFC 275 on pay-per-view this Saturday. We're going to add in a little bit of UFC topics and try to get you guys more updates on that sport because that's a sport that me and Mac also enjoy as well. And we're at it. Let's move into, as we're moving to our second hour of the show, we'll see how long this takes us. We have a couple more topics. We have, obviously, we're going to love always talking about Giants football. So we usually keep that to the end of the show. So I can say we can move into the NBA playoffs. Boston Celtics versus Golden State Warriors. Whoever wants to begin, take it away.
Can I say something before y'all start and go crazy on this series real quick about this?
Absolutely.
Okay, here we go. It's when did the NBA Finals begin? Last Thursday. They began last Thursday. Right?
I know where this is going.
Yes, sir.
Me too.
I'm working some water. I'm back. Hold it down,
We
man.
had 3 games. Only 3 games so far. It's been a whole week. 3 games. They only traveled once. Why the hell do are they space these games out so ridiculously where you're waiting 2 and 3 nights in between games? These guys over there in the NHL, much more physically imposing game, and they're playing every other night. But here, not these NBA guys. No, they need 2-3 nights off in between the damn game. Give me a break. Between game 1 was last Thursday out Oakland or whatever, where the Golden State Warriors play, and then you don't have game 2 until Sunday night. What the hell they need all that time off for in the same fucking city to play another basketball game?
Right.
Give me a break. Speed the process up. All these
Yeah, we got shit to do.
Just a frustrated fan. I'm sorry. I had to get that off my chest.
Listen, hey, you're more than welcome to get it off your chest because I remember the days when it actually ended in June and not going to take till July to get to the NBA Finals. We might as well take a week off. You know, the series is tied 2-2. Take a week off. We'll be back in a week. We'll do this after the NBA draft. We'll let those players play in the NBA Finals too, and then we'll keep going, right? You know, give me a break. You're right. You're absolutely right. But
You're right, yeah.
with that being said, there was a game that was played, and it was a phenomenal basketball game. It was interesting to see. My wife goes to me, she goes, you're a Boston fan? I said, I'm a basketball fan first, and I love history. And the Boston Celtics are NBA history, almost NBA royalty, if you want to put it.
They absolutely are.
So, so when they're in the finals, you respect them. You respect them in the finals. So for me, I enjoyed it. And I thought,
That's too bad. He was in such a good take. Go ahead, Jeff.
Zion, do you remember when beginning at the playoffs, I told you watch out for this Boston Celtics team because they're beginning to gel at the right time?
Yeah, and I also remember when I told you that the Boston was going to play their best ball against you guys, and I was wrong.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, you were right. They have, and the Boston Celtics are gelling at the exact right time throughout this entire playoffs, and it showed again last night. Robert Williams, who's been battling a knee injury the entire time after coming off surgery, had himself a night last night. Blocking shots, getting rebounds. Grant Williams off the bench did a great job. I mean, Al Horford seems to have found the fountain of youth. Jaylen Brown is becoming one of the best young players in the NBA. Jason Tatum had himself a revenge game last night. He had a great game. Marcus Smart, while he does some dumb things at times, he still is that feisty defensive player that will take the ball away from you all the time. And I think, honestly, Boston is just a bigger, more physical team than the Warriors are. And it just showed in a way last night. The Boston Celtics had their way the entire game against that smaller, weaker, less depth Warriors team. And it's just evident that Boston is controlling the boards. Boston is controlling inside the paint. And the Warriors just don't have an answer right now. If Steph Curry, Wiggins, Poole, Thompson, if these guys are not hitting their shots, especially their three-pointers consistently, they're having a lot of trouble being able to drive to the rim and try to put up a decent shot because they got those Celtic shot blockers just sitting right there waiting to swat it away, or they're waiting to just knock the ball away. So the Celtics just seem like the better overall team. In terms of defense, it's all good, Adam. I'll let you continue your point in a second. The Boston Celtics just look like the better overall team right now, physically, down in the box, depth-wise, coaching. They just look like the better team right now, and unless the Warriors can find a way to improve and do a lot better when it comes to rebounding, defense, and especially in the paint, I think the Celtics are going to – I think they could wrap this thing up in 5 or 6 games. I just after what I saw last night, especially with Curry now hobbling around with a foot injury, I just think the Celtics, unless something happens, I think the Celtics got the big-time advantage going into Game 4 tomorrow night. Thank God it's tomorrow night because, Mac, my God, were you right about that statement. We do not need 2 or 3 days in between games. Enough. Yeah. Just have a day in between and go to the next game. Adam, you can go right ahead.
Well, I want to touch on what you said. I don't necessarily think Golden State is not ready for the moment. It's Boston took their best shot, and their best shot wasn't good enough. Okay, because Golden State, if they're playing any other team, is probably winning that series. Is probably up with the frenetic way that they played. But because they are disciplined and there are so many tiers to Boston, right? They can go big, they can go small, they can run up and down the floor. They play efficient basketball, and defensively they play. I mean, what did that guy Williams have? 4 blocks or something like that. Yeah. They have a real rim protector. I think that's throwing off Golden State because they've been here before. I mean, they have Klay Thompson who shot the lights out. He had 25 points. Curry and Thompson alone had 56 points, 56 of points for the Golden State Warriors last night. Half their points came from those 2 guys. So it's not like they didn't play a good game. It's just their best shot was countered by the entire team of Boston because you had 3 guys in double digits for Boston. Actually, 4 guys in double digits if you count Jaylen Brown because they showed a stat where it was Tatum, I think it was Grant Williams, and who was the third guy? Marcus Smart. All had 20-plus points. Yeah. Not to mention Jaylen Brown had 24 points. You already got 80-something points by 4 guys on Boston, right? It was all about the role players. The bench players came through. This is what you see when you have a team winning basketball, right? We've seen Golden State do it because that kid, I forgot the young guy's name. Is it Looney? Yeah, Poole. I like him too, but you can see the moment right now is a little big for him right now. He's not having the same shot selection that he's gotten, right? He's had some good games, but if he was a third scorer, maybe this is a different ball game, right? Maybe this is a different avenue. He had an okay game, but not a game that we come accustomed to with this kid. And another thing
Wiggins been kind of playing good though. Wiggins.
Well, but like Wiggins doesn't. Yeah, he plays well, but he's not what Poole and Thompson and
Wiggins is going to give you that great defense.
Right, and he's going to give you the defense plus the scoring, almost like a Bruce Bowen with more range, right? A better shooter, right? In terms of how he can move the floor, and he had an impact on the game. Don't get me wrong. Wiggins is a great lockdown defender for that team. But what Boston is doing is their role players are playing well. Their entire team is playing well. They're getting out on breaks. They're making the adjustments. I just think right now they're just, if you looked at Golden State, they were a very up and down the floor team. Once they got in the half court, they couldn't execute their game plan as much. And you saw it in the foul with Jaylen Brown, I think in the third quarter with Curry. They were on a fast break. They fouled him. It was a team foul, and then all of a sudden they were in half court and they couldn't get their their offense set because they weren't able to run guys around.
Absolutely.
They need Kevon Looney to do something too.
Gotta do better. Gotta do better than 11 points in the fourth quarter in the NBA Finals, man. That's
right, but they exploded in the third, Mac. That's the thing. They exploded in the third.
Absolutely, they did.
And they gave the best shot. I think that's what I mean. It's like this could be it for them. I don't know, but they have a good team going forward. They're going to have a good team. Draymond, he was he was like complaining when he got fouled out. I'm like, dude, you like basically knocked the guy with your elbow. Like, what are you talking about? He's like, what are you talking about? What are you fucking talking about? I'm like reading his lips, his big old lips. I'm like, damn. I'm like, you are just getting at this guy. This guy is just yelling. I'm like, yo, Draymond, bro. I understand if it was like the finals where he got knocked out with the Cleveland game, where that was a ticky-tack bullshit shit where he like walked over LeBron and they're like, oh, tee him up, get him out of here. Yeah, you have a case then. This one, you clearly mugged the dude. It's all right. It's okay. He mugged the dude. Then man, I don't know what he was saying to that official, yo. I'm like, yo, this guy, you got to stop, Draymond. You just stop before you get ejected. Although I like his passion, reminds me like Rasheed Wallace.
He does.
Crazy loon. You're like, man, this guy he's a, I don't want to meet him in an alleyway, man. He gonna beat me up.
That's awesome.
That's a good comparison, Rasheed Wallace. I think they need a guy like Kevon Looney in the middle to be able to step up, because when he was playing well and provide that defense and also that low post scoring, it would really help out that Warriors team and balance them out a little bit more. So that he needs to start making Pack down low, because they're getting out physical by the rim.
Yep.
The Boston's just having their way down low by the basket. There's nobody right now on that Warriors team that can handle a guy like Robert Williams or even Al Horford. The 35-year-old Al Horford is having his way getting rebounds, putting up baskets. They need a guy like Kevon Looney to be able to go into the game and start making his presence known, because when he was able to do that, the Warriors were a more deadly team, because you have him down there getting those shot blocks, getting the rebounds, passing it out to those shooters, and even be able to get some low post and dunks. So that's the guy that the Warriors need to step up the most, besides Draymond, but they need Kevon Looney to be able to provide that inside presence for their team, because if he's not, and they don't have anybody else in terms of their low post guys, the Boston Celtics might just out-physical them for the rest of the series, especially if they can't hit those three-point shots.
Agree with all of that. Like you said, Jeff, that's definitely all facts. But I also like to put a note on this series that Boston came right out from the door in this series, and by taking game one out there in Oakland, you know what I mean? That was already that set the tone for the series right there.
Yep.
To go out there and take one of those games away from Golden State, that was already big time, and that might have already got a little bit. And I know they came out with a great effort in game two and got the win, at home. But at the same time, that still knocked the wind out of themselves immediately right from the door, losing game one at home.
You expected that, right? You expected them to win game two.
Losing home court advantage immediately as soon as the series starts. That's going to rattle you. I mean, I know they've been here before, but at the same time, that's still that's a little intimidating. And now you're over here and got to deal with this with the crowd over here in the Garden. And Boston.
It's the way they lost. They lost that game. It wasn't like they lost the game and they got blown out. They had the lead. They were dominating the whole game one. And out of nowhere, Boston comes out of nowhere and just keeps plodding away. And next thing you know, at the end of the game, the Celtics are in the win column. And I think you're right about that. It's the way they lost that I think is more telling. Because if they got blown out, I would have been like, all right, what if they got blown out? But they had victory, and then in the last few minutes lost it for defeat. It's
Absolutely.
And 100%. They got to come out with that effort and get that big win in Game 4. They got no choice. You can't go down 3-1. They have to try to come out, hit their shots immediately, make their presence known, keep that Boston crowd quiet. They got to come out. They got to get home court advantage back.
So let me ask you this question then.
Game set. What's up?
This is the thing, right? We were just talking about the Rangers holding serve at home, right? Now the Boston Celtics have a chance to basically take hold of this series in Game 4. Do you think they let off the gas, or do we see another repeat performance by Boston and they go up 3-1? Because this could be, if Golden State squares up the series, we're going back to, Golden State's now in the driver's seat again, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Just knowing this Boston Celtics team, I don't think they're going to let off the gas. Just how Ime Udoka coaches this team and the type of players on this Boston squad, I don't see them letting off. I see them coming out in Game 4 and knowing they're going to protect home court. They want to go out there and maybe hit some type of mini knockout punch to the Warriors. So I see no way that they're going to come out and take their foot off the gas and allow this Warriors team to be able to hit their shots, get into their rhythm, go up and down the court in their fast break. I think that Boston is going to try to go out there and lay the haymaker immediately on Golden State and try to startle them a little bit, especially when you got an ailing Stephen Curry, which we really don't know how injured Steph is right now. He said he's going to play in Game 4, but we really don't know how good and how well he's going to be able to handle coming off that injury, because it looked bad when he was limping all over that court. So that dude White factor as well going the rest of the series.
That dude White has played a great series. If there's anybody that would be an MVP, whether you're going to give it, it's him, because what he's done when he's been in the game with Curry has basically taken him out of the series, of that series when they have that possession. When he's out of the game, it seems like Curry's running all over the court. When that guy's in the game, he matches speed for speed. It's almost like when you guarded Reggie Miller back in the day, right? Reggie Miller, one of the best things that Reggie used to do was he used to run around the court and exhaust you. Right. Yep. And then a guy would lean in like a Dale Davis and knock you on your ass, because that guy is 6'8", 280 pounds. And there's Reggie behind him taking the three ball. And I feel like I'm watching the modern day Reggie and Curry. But the thing about Reggie Miller, though, is he had a little bit more power than Curry, so that he wasn't always locked down by quicker guys. He would just outwork you. But Curry, sometimes I feel like if there's a pesky guy like this White, he tends to get out of his game, out of his element, and starts chucking and ducking, right? So I don't know. I think White's a big factor in the game, and we'll see what the ankle does, because maybe White now can impose more defensive will because Curry won't be running around as much.
And Adam, just to bounce off that point, I agree with you 100%. Derek White has been a big time difference for this team, and I think what really put this Boston Celtics team over is when at the trade deadline they were able to acquire Derek White, as well as bring back Al Horford and get a couple of pieces that perfectly fit the type of team that the Boston Celtics want to implement, and it's showing right now. Derek White being that three-point shooter that is playing lockdown defense, frustrating the hell out of Stephen Curry. And Al Horford has just come in there, shown the leadership, being a solid low-post presence, giving you a couple of games, 20-plus points, rebounds. I mean, those two players, when the Boston Celtics acquired them, including getting back their stars when they were injured, because Boston struggled at the beginning of the season when guys like Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, Jason Tatum, they were dealing with injuries. But when they acquired Derek White and Al Horford at the trade deadline, it completely transformed that team, and they just went on a roll right after that towards the top of the Eastern Conference in the NBA, and they have not looked back ever since. So I agree 1,000% with your point, Adam. Derek White has been a huge difference in this series on the offensive end, on the defensive end. He's frustrated the hell out of Stephen Curry, and I mean, if it wasn't for Jaylen Brown or Jason Tatum having the games that they've been having lately, I would say Derek White could be a leading candidate for the MVP trophy. So kudos. Great point you just made before earlier, Adam.
I love it. I love the discussion. I also think Just to add in my 2 cents,
You're
I do
welcome.
think that Boston will take the series. But also too, like, you know, we see those moments where Golden State can come out and just put quick buckets on 8 points in 37 seconds or something like that. But exactly what the gentleman said below, you know what I'm saying? Like my co-host said, it's a matter of fact that you can't win the whole game by shooting. You know, you gotta get to the rim eventually. And the fact of the matter is, Boston's making it really, really hard to get to the rim for Golden State. Derek White, what's up, Coach? Derek White is playing outstanding basketball. And I also do think too. This is, you know, they mentioned a lot of facts to you guys. I'm just gonna give you a little bit of this. You know, I'm Jason Tatum. I'm a young superstar in this league. I'm looking at Giannis. I'm looking at Luka. I'm like, wow, you guys are getting all the attention. What about me? And he's been almost to the finals multiple times where he's losing. And this is his first time with the roster that he has. Everyone's, and it's not just Jason Tatum. You guys heard these co-hosts talk about
Jaylen Brown has been unbelievable.
Jaylen Brown's
been
absolutely phenomenal, right? And for those two young superstars to go ahead and to take and lead their team to I would say upset, because Golden State was the favorites to win it, to go in there and to beat the Warriors and to beat a team that half of the roster really won a championship, and to beat the Splash Brothers like that is absolutely amazing. And I know there are some people asking about the, you know, if the East could be able to hold up against teams like the Suns, teams like Golden State, and Boston is answering the question. And I think the East plays more physical basketball, and I think Boston right now is looking like the better team. And right now, just looking at it, you know, the Golden State can come on and play an absolutely amazing game, have a bomb night shooting the ball and take the game forward. But at the end of the day, I just think that the series is looking at, it's going to lean towards Boston. And I just think that they had the tougher road to get here, playing three tough teams in Brooklyn, in Giannis and Milwaukee Bucks, and in the Miami Heat. So I just have to ride with them, and I think that they're going to go ahead and take this. Is there anything else you guys want to cover before we move on to the Giants?
Adam, I think you and I would perfectly say, if it wasn't for our good old former GM, Billy King, Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown could probably be Brooklyn Nets right now, because remember that trade that they made years ago where they traded for Garnett and Pierce and Jason Terry, when they had Joe Johnson and Darren Williams. If that was the trade that pretty much gift wrapped Boston, Jason Tatum, and Jaylen Brown. So in a way, and this is not sour grapes for us Nets fans, those guys should really be Brooklyn Nets.
That's what I mean by being real fans. When you go through that turmoil, you get those superstars, and then you sit through all the losing that we've sat through. I mean, give me a damn break. And no one ever questioned my Net fanhood ever again. Ever again. Me and Jeff are Net fans through and through. I don't want to hear about it when we get on streams. Oh, you guys just no. We've been there. We can tell you all the players that we grew up with, all the crap that we've seen, and we still stay loyal to this basketball team. And look what happens. Our moves come back to bite us in the butt, as usual, with the Nets. It's like the Cleveland freaking Browns, man. No matter what we do, it's always a curse. Always. We can get the best player in the world, Kevin Durant, and all of a sudden we're the laughing stock of the NBA. And oh, by the way, Jaylen Brown, who you could have had, but you gave him away for some AARP players, guys who are in the geriatric ward, right? To try to win a damn title. Give me a break.
I'm not trying to start a debate here. Not trying to start a debate here, not at all. Okay, but
you're loving this. Don't even lie.
All I'm trying to say is, if LeBron James is on that Brooklyn Nets team, you guys might.
If LeBron James is on the Brooklyn Nets team, he'd be crying because he didn't know how to use a subway. All right, don't give me that soft player, him biting his nails. Oh, it's so hot in the San Antonio gym. Give me a break. You're in San Antonio. You didn't think it was going to be hot? We're not playing in Alaska, you idiot. My God, you had to be carried off the field.
If LeBron James was on the Nets right now, guarantee he gets hurt and he's probably out for the rest of the season.
Guarantee you he leaves. That's what he'll do. He'll be like, oh, my receding hairline is still going. I can't get my Botox done here. I'm going back to L.A.
I just bit on Adams because he said KD the best player in the world, and I said, "Hey, don't forget about LeBron James. He's still
Yeah. That's all you. That's all you probably like the new Space Jam too, right? Yeah, right.
I didn't like that. I didn't like that at all. I didn't like that at all. I think it was a whole Warner Brothers showing off, like, "Hey guys, look at everything we made."
Trash.
Like, stop it, Warner Brothers, don't do that.
It's trash.
That being said, let's move into the New York Football Giants. Anybody can take it. What do you guys want to talk about?
I thought we were doing our one last second sports moment.
Do that first. All right, let's do that first. You can begin, Adam.
My sports moment is what really got us in all of these moments was the Nancy Kerrigan, Tanya Harding thing, right? I remember that like it was yesterday. I was like, what? It was like in 94, so I was like 10. And I'm like, Mommy, why is a guy hitting this woman with a bat? You know what I mean? Like, what the hell's going on? And it was one of the most scandalous things I've ever seen. How you try to take her opponent out. The worst part is, you didn't even take her out fully. Like, if you're going to do something, at least take her out so she can't compete. Girl goes on to win a silver medal. Like, what? And then you compete in the Olympics and fail because obviously it's the biggest scandal in the world, right? So, like, geez. Like, if I'm taking somebody out, I'm freaking Willis McGahee in that knee. I am bending it backwards. I am making sure that you cannot walk for weeks. Like, I don't know who that. And then when they say, "Hey, that guy was hired by me," like, I have no idea who that guy was. I have no idea who that guy. She might have went to the bar last night, met him, and he wanted some money or some shit because I do not know who he is. Who? You know what I mean? I would have denied. Then I would have got. People are looking at me like, "Adam, you must be crazy." No, I'm just saying I would have done it right. You don't hire somebody to do it badly. You know what I mean? But anyways, that's one of my moments. I know everyone's like, "Oh, figure skating. Adam, what's wrong with you?" Hey, Nancy Kerrigan was beautiful back in the day, okay? And I loved Christy Yamaguchi. Why am I dropping these names? Because I was an Olympic fan, people. They were U.S. athletes. So I love the U.S. team.
I'll take you back to Debbie Thomas. You want to go figure skating, bro? I'll take you back. You know what I mean?
Oh, my God. There we go. Look, there we go.
I'm just saying, but that was an iconic moment in sports. I remember that too, like it was yesterday, man. That was something that you never really seen. Just that level of commitment to want to win, to literally try to take your opponent out.
It was badly.
I can't believe you pulled the Willis McGahee thing there. He's gonna Willis McGahee his leg. Oh my God.
I'm sorry. I combined two sports moments into one there. Oh my God. If anyone ever seen Willis McGahee's knee, oh my God. You would have feel.
That was bad, yeah. Really bad.
Sorry, Willis. I hope you're not listening. Sorry.
Let's get it.
But well, look, I'll be a bit of a homer on this one, man. I won't take it back so far this time. I'm just go back to a good day.
We love throwback. We love throwback memories.
We'll go back to a good day in New York Giant history because
I love it.
We'll go to February 3rd, 2008. Super Bowl
Yes.
42,
Wow.
England Patriots.
Mac, we must be on the synergy. That was one of my first thoughts, and then I took Nancy Kerrigan.
New England Patriots and the New York Football Giants out in Arizona, man. The undefeated New England Patriots, mind you, the team that no one gave the New York Giants a fucking chance.
Not even Brady himself.
Nope.
No one gave us a chance. Tom Brady talking shit all cocky in the middle of the week.
Oh yeah, wait a minute. Wait. That goes back to that guy this morning. Professional.
We're only going to score 14 points or whatever, 17 points? Sure, Tom Brady. You're not going to score 17 points. You're going to score 14. That's what happened. But just the moment of the game.
They got stomped out, Mac.
One of the biggest moments of the game, obviously, on that final drive. Eli Manning, our warrior of a quarterback, dropping back. Patriot defense had him
I miss Eli Manning.
to rights. And we know Eli ain't fleet of foot. Eli
He's no Daniel Jones.
He's definitely no Daniel Jones. You know what I mean?
You wouldn't have fallen on the 80-yard line.
But all Eli did was shake those suckers off and just turn around and hum that football, baby. Hum that thing.
I don't really know I don't think he knew what he was doing, man.
Mac, what did he do? He did what?
He said he just hummed that thing, baby. Like, look, it's the Super Bowl. It's the Super Bowl. I'm gonna throw this football and hope my guy can come down with it. And
Jeez.
show as shit. David Tyree, who they went on the record and said had the absolute worst week of practice anybody could have.
In the history of the NFL.
Went out there and made one of the absolute most iconic catches in Super Bowl history, man.
Mind you, in the middle of the field.
Pinning that ball against his helmet with an all-pro safety and Rodney Harrison draped all over him.
Hall of Famer.
And just with his will and would not be denied, man, making up one of the most spectacular plays you'll ever see in Super Bowl history. And we know after that play, we know how the rest of the story goes. We would finish that drive off with a wide open Plaxico Burress in the end zone. You know the confetti fell. It was beautiful, beautiful moment. The Patriots is 18-1. Get out of here.
That parade.
Y'all is not being undefeated, not on our watch. New York Football Giants took care of that. One of the greatest moments in New York Giant history, right?
Chris Berman is now popping the champagne on prime time.
And he did. I'm sure he did for real. That moment was just amazing, man. It's enough. I'll never, ever.
I ran down the street, woke up my neighbor's kid because the Giants won the Super Bowl. I'm like, yo, what just happened here, bro? What just happened here? I had a Super Bowl party at my house. People are asking me, hey, Adam, what do you think the Giants have a chance? I'm like, fuck yeah, we got a chance. We keep it close. We're going to beat these They're like, what are you talking about? I'm like, you'll see. We win the game. I kick somebody in the gut. He falls through a glass table. I run outside screaming my head off. My parents called me in the middle of me running down the street. I said, what the hell are you doing? I said, we just won the fucking Super Bowl, and I'm running down the fucking street, letting the entire town know that we just won the Super Bowl, and it was a glorious moment. It was a glorious moment.
Just to touch back on that play real quick again, because a lot of people try to hate on Eli, throw shade at Eli. Oh, yeah, he just covered. He just closed his eyes and threw the ball up. Well, guess what? He threw the ball up, and it worked.
It worked.
And because he had the balls to do the unconventional, we won the Super Bowl. Because a lot of people would have maybe took the smart choice and just maybe threw the ball away somewhere, whatever. No, Eli said,
not Eli Manning.
This is the Super Bowl. I'm going to try to make a play, and make a play he did.
Let me tell you, for a minute there, I was like, oh my God. And then, of course, Tyreek caught it. And I'm like, once he caught the ball, I knew it was over. But let's not forget one play that gets over. Well, two plays that get overlooked. One is the Asante Samuel missed interception.
Almost interception, yes.
Right.
Yes.
Because he's looking up at he's looking down at his feet, trying to keep it in bounds. And I think that little concentration, because it was so close to the sideline, hindered him catching the ball. And then the Steve Smith, what was it, 3rd and 12, him catching that pass on the sideline. He's like the unsung hero of the group. I love
Steve Smith.
Yeah, it was a great.
Remember? Adam, he had the wherewithal. He was short when he caught the ball. He still had the wherewithal to tiptoe that sideline and get past the sticks to get Eli that chance to throw that fade to Burress in the end zone. So thank you for bringing that up. Steve Smith had the biggest catch besides the Tyree game in that whole entire game. Smith's catch was bigger than most people to give it the credit it deserves.
And he was one of the great draft classes of that year, the 07 draft class. He was part of that class that really contributed to that whole entire team. And, the Road Warriors mentality, the thing that got me fired up was the intro, how they were the Road Warriors, and they were going to slay this beast. And I didn't know we were going to win, but I had a feeling. I had a feeling there was some magic going to happen, because
I knew we could match up to that team. We played them the last week of the season, the last game of the season during the regular season. You know what I mean? And we went toe-to-toe with them. We went toe-to-toe with that football team.
I think they even said in the documentaries that kind of propelled them into the Super Bowl because they knew they could play with those guys. And I love John Madden's phone call saying, hey, Tom, he teared up, said, thanks for playing the game. Thanks for making it, lying down. Because they were like, why are the Patriots playing? And even Strahan said in his pregame speech, he's like, why aren't they telling them to rest? They're telling us to rest. Why not tell them? Let's go out there and beat these guys. And I think that was a catalyst to their Super Bowl run was, keeping up with that team. And, Randy Moss. I mean, they were shattering records that were there for 50 or 60 years.
Absolutely.
50 or 60-year-old records.
They literally was blowing everyone out.
What are they like averaging like 40 points a game?
Randy Moss and Wes Welker were unstoppable as a wide receiver duo. They were unstoppable, those two. Welker would kill you over the middle, and Moss would get you up top. They had the perfect complement of wide receivers on that team.
I think they're the highest scoring team in the NFL that year, in the entire history of the NFL. Tom Brady broke Peyton Manning's touchdown record that year, which was like 50. He threw like 51. We're like, oh, geez, And Randy Moss had a career renaissance. I mean, the guy was doing nothing because he went to Oakland and had a stint with Oakland and was not doing that well. And they're bringing him in like, oh, you're a malcontent. And no one thought that team was going to be that good. They thought they would be good, but they had Junior Seau on that team. They had Rodney Harrison. They have a whole history of Hall of Famers. They got a receiver for Tom Brady because, remember, he never had a receiver up until that point. And they got Randy Moss. And, of course, the game against the Jets, I remember him catching the ball in the back of the end zone, one hand against the Jets, Randy Moss. Yeah, it was just like that team was unstoppable. But then they met the New York Giants, and we told them what city was bigger, New York or Boston. We let them know. We let them know. We let them know with our quarterback who looked like he, could be a stepchild of the Mannings. We let them know. Is Eli Manning elite? Hell yeah, he is.
On the biggest stage.
Not once, but twice.
Yes, sir.
Zion, you care to go next?
Yeah, I'll go. I can't top that because that was amazing.
Yeah, how can you top
that? I can't top that. But what I can say is Game 6, 2013, Ray Allen's three-pointer to save Miami in the series, to take it in Game 7, and to be a.
What is Danny Green doing?
A double time, a back-to-back with LeBron James, Bosh, and Wade, back-to-back champions in Miami. That was absolutely.
Yeah, Danny Green did the most faux pas thing you could ever do, and that's not guard your man.
Yeah.
Let your man run out on a rebound, and you're standing there looking at LeBron James. Why don't get checking out his ass? I don't know what he's doing. And he turns around, and there's Ray Allen fucking taking the three-pointer. Like, what are you doing?
Ray Allen was one of the best three-point shooters at that time. That's one of the last guys you want to leave open behind the arc, and he did that.
It was as if Danny Green was like, wow, that's LeBron James. Maybe I'll get his autograph after the game. Oh shit, Ray Allen. That's how it happened.
Maybe I'll sign my shoes.
Exactly.
Maybe I'll give me his autograph jersey.
Maybe I'll be one of his new commercials.
Like coming off of that championship and being able to get Ray Allen, like I get it, he was at the end of his career, but he could still shoot.
Yeah, but he left Boston to go there. That was the controversy.
Absolutely. And he was able to pull it off, and I'm happy that we made that.
That was the drama.
Yeah, that was.
Don't worry, we were long out of that playoffs way before because we were too busy losing to the Bulls around that time. So we were way out of there before we even had a shot at getting towards the finals.
And I get it, like.
Way to pull the Nets.
I also wanted to, and I'm not trying to bite on still another one here, but like I know they were young, but I do want to bring up like we did beat like OKC when they had Horton, Westbrook, and Durant on the same team, and that series, with the OKC before that series with the Spurs, the year before, like that's another series I don't want to forget either. So I'll let you go, Jeffrey.
Yeah, another jab at KD. You would. Don't let it just let it sit there. I know how you are.
Okay. He always wants to try to bring the flame and jab over on our necks all the time. He loves it. It's like, come on. He's like that old man with the fishing rod. Like the old man with the fishing rod, the dollar there. You gotta be quicker than that. You gotta be quicker than that. Come on, you can get it. Well, I think in that case, I think the back in the day, I think the Thunder messed up because they should have kept that trio together a lot longer than they did. And when they traded Harden, that was one of the dumbest mistakes that franchise did because they should have had that team. I know I'm getting off topic right now, but they should have had Harden stay with that team and try to build off because they were close to winning a championship with those three guys. And they had a really awesome opportunity to do it. And I think they broke that team up way too quick. But in terms of my sports moment, I'm going to take everybody back to 2001. I'm going to take our moment back to the WWE, the main event of WrestleMania 19. Stone Cold Steve Austin versus The Rock, for the WWE Championship. And a lot of it was based upon who was the best wrestler of that generation. Was it The Rock or was it Stone Cold Steve Austin? That was mainly what the feud was built around. And they had themselves a hell of a banger of a match. But it wasn't until towards the end when good old Vince McMahon, the boss of the company, decided to come down and he handed Stone Cold Steve Austin, his most sworn enemy, a chair. Austin proceeds to take it, knock out The Rock multiple times. 1, 2, 3. Stone Cold Steve Austin becomes the WWE Champion, and one of the most iconic WWE moments ever. Vince McMahon and Stone Cold Steve Austin in the middle of the ring, shaking hands, and I can't remember JR's quote from there. He's like, Stone Cold Steve Austin is shaking the hands of Satan himself. And I can only remember just the look on everybody's face and the entire crowd just sitting there dumbfounded because of the history that Austin and McMahon had with everything those two guys went through, which pretty much gave us the greatest era of history with those two being the catalysts of it. And then you guys remember the night after the steel cage match, the rematch between Austin and The Rock. Vince McMahon stuck his nose into the business again, but it wasn't until Triple H the night after came into the ring and it looked like Austin and Triple H were about to knock the hell out of each other. Triple H takes that sledgehammer, knocks at The Rock. The Rock, Triple H, and Austin continue to beat the hell out of The Rock. And I can still remember one of the best calls I've ever heard in wrestling history was JR saying, the rattlesnake, the game, and the boss are one ugly, vile, nasty page. And that will go down as one of the greatest histories, which ended up starting the two-man power trip with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Triple H. And that will always go down as two of the greatest, most unbelievable WWE nights ever remember, because nobody ever expected Austin and Vince McMahon and even Triple H to all come together as a unit, especially what they all went through earlier in that year or a couple of years prior. So I just want to bring that to the table as my sports moment of that time.
Makes me want to go on Peacock and look back to WrestleMania 19. You said it was?
That's right. You go back to WrestleMania 19. You watch that. Because another iconic moment from that era is when Hogan and The Rock meet up at WrestleMania. I think it's WrestleMania 18.
Yes.
When the NWO, The Rock, meet up with Hulk Hogan. Probably one of the most iconic moments after the Austin Rock thing as well. But to me, Rock turns out to be the better guy longevity-wise.
Well, that match was actually funny because that match, Hogan was being cheered like crazy. When everybody was expecting him to get booed out of that building, the fans were going nuts for Hogan. Absolutely bonkers. And even Hogan had to sit back and be like, are you serious? Like, what the hell is going on here? The crowd was going absolutely bonkers every time Hogan did an offensive move, and The Rock was getting booed, which led to The Rock turning heel later that year and Hogan becoming a face, dropping the black and white and going back towards the red and yellow, and the I am a real American, going back to the Hulk Hogan that we all know. So that was also another iconic moment, not just because of the match itself, but because in the fact it just turned each of their characters because of how the crowd reacted in that match. So that's another great moment that Adam brought up too.
I love it. Well, we got about 15, 20 minutes left in the show, guys, and I think we move it on to a topic that we all love to share. New York Giants, man, we always love talking about the New York Giants, and I'm going to be completely honest with you guys. I've been vampiring the Giants lately because I know things are about to get moving, and I just feel like vampiring them sometimes all the time moves faster because I can't wait till things are starting to move. It is kind of a slow time, but, things are starting to pick up here soon. Is there anything that you guys want to cover with the New York Giants before we get out of here?
It's not a lot of major news going on. Obviously, minicamp finishing up today, and then obviously we won't see the guys back all together until training camp. But I'm liking the things I'm hearing, obviously. But like Adam I would support Adam when he says this. Until I see this team on the field, man, I can't. I gotta temper my excitement. I can't.
Yeah.
I can't act like I think we're just gonna go out there and say everything's gonna be all great now. And I'm liking what I'm hearing. It appears that we're moving in the right direction. Everything looks positive. People are buying in. We're hearing great things about Daniel Jones. Saquon Barkley looks like he is poised to come back out and be the man again. So I mean, and his defense looks like it's starting to click a little bit. They're understanding what Wink is preaching to them, trying to they're getting it together. I mean, but they're not hitting anybody yet.
Yep.
They're not even hitting each other, let alone another team.
Yep.
So until we get this team on the field, I mean, the leadership stuff does it all. That's important. It all matters, man. Coach, I agree 100%. That's and I like I said, I like what I'm seeing, like what I'm hearing. But I still, like I said, after the last season, that I went through too much emotionally with this team. I'm sorry. I'm gonna have to pull off. They got me, man. This team last year, they got me. They duped me. I really thought this team was poised to be a really good football team last year, and it just blew up in my face completely. So this year, I got to wait and see this team on the field, at least get some preseason action going and give me some form of an idea what they're going to look like on the field against other competition. But, yeah, for everything I'm hearing in practice, so far, so good, positive. They're buying in. Everybody seems to be on the same page with Coach Dable. So let's go. You know what I mean? Let's go. Let's surprise me, New York Giants. Make me be wrong about how I feel about you right now.
Absolutely,
Prove me wrong.
Well,
That's what I want.
Mac, you are absolutely right with the prove me wrong type of mantra, because that's the boat or bus or vehicle, whatever vehicle you want to put me on, that's the bus I'm on or vehicle that I'm on. I'm tired of sitting here every year the same. This happens with every coaching staff that comes in. And people are like, no, yes, it did with Judge. We're like, oh my, Judge, the players like him. He's rolling around in the mud with them. Great job. Did nothing. We had McAdoo. He had his hair slicked back. He's reading, books about lion dicks and shit. You know what I mean? Like, we were like, oh, he's relating to the players. You know what I'm saying? We had Pat Shermer come in and like, oh, look at this. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. 9/11, God rest all the people that died that day, but 9/11, we're going to Tennessee. That's when you show me. That's when you show me. I don't want to hear about, oh, he made a pass. Guess what? You know what that is? That's like the teacher passing out the test. They're doing their job. They're doing their job. Oh yeah, he hit a net in practice. Okay, great. That's what he's supposed to do. That's all he does is throw footballs. I would be angry if he was missing. It's like a jump shooter. A guy who hits 3-pointers. Like, oh god, he hits 3-pointers in practice. Great, but when a game and a guy's in his face, is he going to deliver? He could be 100 for 100 in practice, but if he's over 3 in a game, what does that matter? And already they're struggling to get this offense going against Wink Martindale's defense. And you don't think the NFL knows? Like, oh man, if we load up the box and blitz, we might be able to get at this Giant team. They listen to everything that goes on. Every little snippet that we think is good or bad, they're listening. So before I go out there and say this team's going to be 11-6, 10-7 and all this, go out and show me against Tennessee. And don't pretend to show me. I don't want to hear excuses when you come out of the game if they lose badly. I don't want to hear it. Go out there and show me.
Follow up on that point, but before you go, Jeff, it's like, I've been into this offseason I was so invested that season, this offseason and all the moves he made and my expectations of this team and this excitement of this team, and then what we got out of the 2021 Giants has been absolutely shit. So this season, I took the approach of, I've been super excited hyping up this team for the last 8 years. I've been a fan of longer, but for the past 8 years, we've been struggling. We've been trying to make moves. And this year, it's like, you know what? I do have the app. I do check on the interviews, but I'm not buying this shit. I'm not buying in the shit. I don't care that we got Evan Neal. I don't care that we get K1. I'm excited. Don't get me wrong. I do care. But at the end of the day, it's like, we can't expect anything. It's a National Football League. It's a really, 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 really tough league. We brought it up on a phone call not that long ago. What happens if one of our receivers go down? What happens if one of our cornerbacks go down? It's the damn NFL. Like, I'm not biting into all these off-season right now, at least all these off-season rumors, all these off-season news. Who gives a fuck? Like Adam says, that a quarterback can throw a ball in his net. The third-string quarterback should be able to throw a ball in the net. It's damn net, and you're a professional quarterback. You're a professional. So at the end of the day, I'm not buying into all of these little things. I just want to see it. I want to see it in action. I want to see it on the field, like Max said. I want to see them hitting people. I want to see Daniel Jones throwing the ball right, exactly accurate when he has a pass rush in his face. I want to see us go out and our young players step up in preseason. I want to be surprised in the preseason, and hopefully we have a guy that just balls out and staples himself as a notable candidate on this roster and stuff like that. I'm super excited for this team. But when I meet Vampire, the Giants, like they have been like fourth, fifth, sixth on my list, just because of the fact that I'm tired of getting so excited for this team, buying all this apparel for this team, and they let us down every damn year. So this being said, I have zero expectations for this team this year. Hopefully, lucky we can win 7 games. And I think by me doing that, it doesn't make me more or less a lesser Giants fan. I just think it makes me a more realistic Giants fan. And I just think that I can't sit here and say that we're going to accomplish anything, because it's the NFL and other 31 teams has improved. And if you look at our division, damn, they look solid. You know what I'm saying? Like, they look like they have some rosters to compete as well. So until they prove something, and Tennessee is a perfect matchup, then I can really get excited and see what product we actually have on the field. Do I trust and believe in these coaching staffs? No, because we haven't seen anything yet, but I do trust and believe in them more than the future, like the last prior 3 that we had here. I'm more excited than the prior 3 we have here, because I believe that this coaching staff can formulate kind of a futuristic, not futuristic, but future schemes, rather than just living in the past and doing the old thing over and over again. But at the end of the day, it's up to the players to get out there and perform. So until then, I'm just gonna dampen my expectations for this team. And what's up, Logan? Thank you for joining.
Well, the one thing I want to say before Jeff goes, sorry, Jeff, is that who is Brian Daboll? Like, who is he? Like, everyone's telling me, like, oh, he's so great. Like, what has he done? What has he done to give me the confidence that he's going to go out there and win all these games? Like, I don't know his resume. Yeah, great. He was in Buffalo, the talent that Buffalo had, that they built for 4 years with that team.
Mm-hmm.
And you're going to tell me now he's going to come in with our roster? Oh, we have one of the talented rosters in the league. Are you kidding me? Do you guys look at the roster? Like, they have nobody behind the starters on defensive line. You know who they're going to traipse out there if Dexter Lawrence gets injured? David Moa? Thanks. I'll take my chances with Mac. You know what I'm saying? Then David Moa. I'm just saying, like, we were talking about middle linebackers this morning. Tay Crowder or Martinez goes down. We're going to rely on a rookie to know the assignments of a Wink Martindale defense. And not for nothing. We love Aaron Robinson looking good and all. But when we're playing good quarterbacks, everyone's like, oh, Cordell Flood, he's looking great, blah, blah, blah. This ain't the SEC, my man. You're not going to play these teams that you can pad your stats to. These are the NFL. These guys, even the third string guys, fourth string guys, are elite athletes and can beat you and know some tricks of the trade. So I just want to say that, because to me, I like Brian Daboll. I don't love Brian Daboll. He hasn't done nothing for me yet. Great. You cleaned up Judge's mess. You threw out the filing cabinet and you got a better Keurig machine. So far, so good. Okay? So far, so good. Now you put napkins on everybody's desk, or you gave them laptops. Oh, goody. Is that going to mean we're going to win more games? Who knows? I've never seen him call a game in my life. I don't, oh, yeah, well, he called Josh Allen. No, I'm talking about head coaching calling a game, making the decisions, making the right decisions. It's 4th and 2 on, and the game is on the line. Are we going for it? Are we punting? What are we going to do? Are you going to play conservative? Like, these are the decisions we haven't even seen him make. And like, when people compare him to Buffalo, really go down that roster and look. That team's a Super Bowl ready team. As a matter of fact, a lot of people are picking them to win the Super Bowl this year. The Giants aren't close. So to come in and just, put lipstick on a pig to make it look like it's better situation than it is, I'm not buying it. I'm just not.
What? I mean,
13.
Wow. All 3 of you guys, made some Great point. So I mean, it's hard. I'm trying to think of a way to follow it up, but I've just been paying attention to some of the players in terms of where they've been in, so far in OTAs and minicamp. Their positionings right now in terms of what teams they're on. I mean, Max Garcia's been running with the third team, so I mean that might be a little indication that maybe he's not as good as some of us thought he was. Slayton's not really been running with the first team that much, even with our top 3 receivers out. This kid Travis Toivonen has been running with the first team offense this whole time. I mean, out here in that Darnay Holmes is right now with the first team in terms of slot cornerback position. Robinson's hurt at the moment. He's got an ailment. I'm hearing that Cano didn't even get a shot to be the starting left tackle, and it was Corey Cunningham instead, while Andrew Thomas has been ailing, and Azudu has also been playing left tackle a lot. So I'm paying attention to a lot of that right now, what players are positioned right now. Ricky Seals-Jones has been running with the third team, and Austin Allen and Daniel Bellinger, the 2 rookies, have been the guys majority running with the first
hold on.
team.
Nice.
Just pause right there. You said Ricky Seals-Jones running with a third team?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I thought he was going to be a Pro Bowl tight end. I mean, from all the stuff I saw on YouTube, this guy was going to be the best tight end in the world. So I'm just wondering. I'm just wondering, Ricky. I'm just saying, Ricky Seals-Jones, so great. I'm like, are you kidding me?
I'm not
Running with
complaining
the
at
third
all
team.
because I like Austin Allen and Daniel Bellinger a lot more. I'd rather see the young kids get a shot to play. And I mean, that's what I'm paying attention to the most.
Love it.
Like you guys said, I might sometimes come off like I think this team has talent, but it's questionable talent in terms of injuries. And thank God, well, actually, I know I can't even say that because there are some nicks and bruises already with this team. Some guys are already banged up. Holmes is out. Robinson's banged up. The wide receiver trio is all out. So, I think there is talent on this team. It's just a lot of guys that are questions right now that either haven't done it yet in the NFL or they have injury questions, and they're guys that, haven't proven yet or haven't proven in a while that they're top-level players coming to this new system. And like you guys mentioned before, Adam, you specifically, Brian Daboll has never been a head coach before. And there were even some Buffalo fans when Buffalo was struggling on offense that wanted no part of Brian Daboll and actually wanted to get rid of him. So, I mean, we have to see what Brian Daboll and Joe Shane's never been a GM before. He's been an assistant GM. So while I do think that the optimism is there, there are some players on this current team that could provide a big-time factor going into the season. And if some of these guys miraculously stay healthy, they are good enough players where they could provide some type of help on offense, and the offensive line can't be any worse than it was this past season. And, I mean, nothing could be worse than that. That was just an absolute train wreck. But at the same time, I'm not going to make myself going crazy and think Daniel Jones is all of a sudden going to become all-world. Saquon Barkley, even though I think he's going to be a lot better, I don't think he's going to be the Saquon Barkley of 2018, though I think he's going to be better. Galladay, Tony, Shepard, all these guys, they stay healthy, they could be solid. The offensive line, talent-wise, I think is a little bit better, but a lot of these guys are unproven. So while I do think the team will be better, I don't think they're going to be as high as some of these other fans are giving for. And my expectations are not, like you guys mentioned, I'm not expecting 10, 11, or anything like that. I'm just going into this season trying to see, okay, so this player is right now at this point in the depth chart. He's showing something. This player is not showing something. This guy could be a potential guy that gets cut surprising. This guy is somebody maybe we didn't think could make the roster, has got a good shot to start. That's what I'm looking at right now is like, who's aligning themselves in terms of the depth chart because it's so early because it's practice right now in shorts and T-shirts. We haven't seen anything, and these guys haven't even hit each other yet. So I'm not going into this season expecting much. I'm not going to get my hopes up like you guys said too. We've done it enough. If we go into this season and even compete, we've all said a million times, compete, build a foundation, young players emerge. Some of these veterans come out there and either regain the type of abilities that they had before or show it out on a one-year deal. We surprise, compete, maybe steal some of these games, and we could go out of here with a 7, 8, maybe even a 9-win team if we actually things break right for us. I will 1,000% take that because I'm not expecting much, and I'm going into the season hoping to be surprised. That's it.
Absolutely.
I will address this comment here. Adam, how is my confidence? 1 to 10, 1 being the bottom, 10 being the low. It's a -1. No, I'm just kidding. It's not a -1. That's I'll give it a 4 or 5. Like, this team hasn't done anything to me. I'm excited as a football fan. Let me start out like that. I'm excited as a football fan for my team, as I am always in the offseason. However, my confidence level right now is a 5. You've got to show me what they've done. We haven't done anything. The thing about why people hate me, and AK said it best, is, Adam, you're too real. I'm very real. That's the point, is I'm a real fan, because I don't like to blow sunshine up your ass, or, give you a bag of shit and tell you it's chocolate, because I don't do that. So my confidence is, I've been down this road before with coaches of the Giants, and not many of them have had great success. I mean, look at the great Tom Coughlin. He went 6-10. Okay, his first year. And then he built his team. He got his players in. He got his guys in. He got his message out there. And 4 years later, we're winning a Super Bowl. So until you can prove to me, because there's no proven head coach. I mean, if Brian Flores was here, I might be thinking a different way, because he has more head coaching experience. He's going to go through certain things that he's already seen. Now, obviously, we're not going to get into the Flores situation, but when he was a candidate running, I had more confidence in him coming in as a guy to be like, yep, I can trust him. He's going to make a decision that's not going to be botched. I mean, look at Todd Bowles. Guys like that have made bonehead decisions. We don't know what Dable is capable of. So for me, until you can tell me, because Max said it best, I don't know if you guys heard him when he said 4-13. This team was 4-13 last year, an absolute laughing stock of a team. Offense, defense, and special teams. We went for 3rd and 9 on a quarterback sneak, and you want me to win games? I don't get it.
There's nothing wrong with being, real about it. We all, like you said, you can't be sunshine and rainbows all the time. You got to sometimes be able to speak the truth. You can be optimistic, but you also got to be realistic. That's just plain and simple. And I'm not going to be the fish that's going to go after the worm on the line. We did it all too many times, especially last year. Go out there on the field, prove it to us, and win some of these games that we don't think that they're going to be able to win, and prove that you're actually a much better team than the crap we've had to see the past few years.
Okay, Coach. I want to see what give me in your chat your reason for being 11 wins, because right now, and if you tell me the schedule, I'm going to go out here and I'm going to go kick a rock and come back inside and let you know how it went. Because, kicking a rock with my bare foot is not going to be good. Why? Because I don't give a damn about the schedule. Okay? Because last year I had Atlanta Falcons stare me dead in the face. And all I heard was, well, we lost to Denver. It doesn't matter. We're going to beat that 0-2 Falcon team or 0-1 Falcon team. We lost. Okay? We lost.
This is what we'll do. We're at the 2-hour mark. We'll probably go for another 10 minutes. So drop the link. Coach, if you want to call in, you're more than happy to. Logan, if you want to have some.
No hard feelings, Coach. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, absolutely. But other than that, we'll wrap it up here in about 10 minutes. You guys continue. Adam, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No. I mean, I don't. Everyone tells me about the schedule. Oh, they got guys across YouTube, across the internet. I had Golden Tate tell me Daniel Jones is great. Give me a break. All right, like the schedule. Like, what do you mean by the schedule? You don't think the Jacksonville Jaguars are sitting there going, yeah, we can beat that 4-13 football team? Look what we did. You don't think the Detroit Lions are doing that? No. We sit here like, whoa, we got some games against Detroit Lions. That's an easy game. Give me a break. The Lions beat a good team last year. I forget what team it was, but somebody brought it up this morning, and they beat a decent team last year. I think it was Pittsburgh, and they tied Pittsburgh. So now you're going to tell me, who, by the way, that was a 30-point game. Name the last time the Giants scored 30 points. Don't worry, I'll wait. I'll wait.
The Lions beat Minnesota last year.
They beat Minnesota, and they tied the Pittsburgh Steelers, and they went and they scored over 30 a couple times. Hey, tell me the last time we scored 30 points in the last 3 years.
What up, Coach?
Thank you for calling in.
Hey, Coach. How are you, man? That's what I'm talking about.
That's fine. Number one, Adam, I don't take it personal. I mean, you're entitled to your opinion. I have no issues with that. But,
Coach Adam is just loud. He's really loud.
No, he's not. I'm a football coach. I've heard loud. Trust me.
I know this.
This ain't loud. But
go ahead, Coach.
As I said, the floor is 6, the ceiling is 11. So do I give them a big window? Yeah. If things go well, is it possible? Yes. There is a possibility. I am not sitting here pounding the table saying they're going to win 11. No, I've never said that. I've always said the floor is 6, the ceiling is 11.
Oh no, all I was asking was, how do you see 11? That's all I want to. What your mindset is for why you see we could possibly win 11 games, because I don't see us winning more than 8 or 9.
Number one, we're playing the last place schedule, so there is the possibility we can win all those games. All right, we could split within our division, and then we could possibly steal a game that we're not supposed to win. So that's why I say the ceiling is 11. There is that possibility. Again, it's a possibility.
Right. Well, I mean, it's either way, possible winning 7, possible winning 11. Exactly. My question to you is, how many games did we win last year in the division?
Okay, you're right. You're 1,000% right. But we also had a different coaching staff. We also had many different players there. Now, I'm not saying all these players are going to step up, but they do have talent. We can't just arbitrarily just say they can't produce. They played crap last year, and a lot of that. See, to me in football, a lot of it also is mentality and confidence. If you don't believe in your coaches, the players are not. If they're not buying in. Yes. Do we have to see how the preseason goes? Yes. Yes, I fully agree with that. Do we have to see how the season starts? Yeah, I fully agree with that. Hey, defense can come out there and play magical and shut down Derrick Henry and cause problems against the Tennessee Titans. Then what? Then we're going to be, we're going to the Super Bowl. No, I'm not saying we're going to be doing that, but that could also be a game that we win because, number one, Tennessee has not even seen what we can do per se. You can only piece certain things together based off of past history. But when guys get together, listening to Jihad Ward and just a little leadership skills, that says a lot to me. All right. Can it sit here and say they're going to go to the Super Bowl based off of that? No. But you need leaders. And last year, I'm sorry, I don't feel we had the type of leaders that can instill confidence to go out there and win games.
I agree with you there on that 100%. I'm saying in my argument, the counter argument is, yeah, I see that we have a soft schedule, but what do you think the other teams are saying across the aisle?
Yes. That's why the floor is 6. It goes both ways.
Let me jump in real fast, Coach. I do like what you're saying, and I'm trying to dampen my expectations for this team this year. But let's ask the panel, if I believe this is a big cause of every season, and this is probably the downfall of the 2021 Giants seasons, along with the bad coaching, is health. Now, panel, if we stay healthy, I believe we do have the talent to sneak into the playoffs if we have 100. Well, no one's 100% healthy, but if we stay healthy the entire season, I believe we do have the talent, hopefully, to sneak into the playoffs, and that where I can see where the 11 wins is coming from, Coach. What would you guys say to that? If the team was to stay healthy the entire season, I get it, it's the New York Giants. That's hard to come by nowadays. But at the end of the day, what do you guys feel on that?
I mean, the only reason I would agree to a certain extent is the conference itself is a bit weak. That's the only reason why I would say that you could get your 10 wins because, if you count off the top 4 teams in the NFC, they're not, the rest of them are in the middle of the pack, meaning
exactly.
It's not the AFC where there's at least 9 or 10 teams that are going to be fighting for 7 spots. There's about 4 top teams in the entire NFC, and those are the division winners, we think, and then a couple other teams that can make it in there. And then the 7th wild card, the Giants could hypothetically be in the mix for that 7th spot. Just because of the conference being weak. I see that. All I'm saying on my vision is that, I've taken that cheese before and I've been left in the trap. That's all.
No, and you know what? That's
comment. He put Slade's comment up on the thing. I'm sorry, Coach. You had something to say? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut
No,
you off.
and I mean, I've been following the Giants for years, so I get it. I get it. I've seen the ups, I've seen the downs. I get it, and it's fair that Matt. What did I say to you? It's fair to temper, and there's no problem with that. So and Adam, don't get me wrong. I understand where you're coming from. What you're saying is 100% true. But
Thank you.
It goes excuse me, it goes both ways.
You're right. That's why I love this game, because it's not predictable.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So, as the movie says, any given Sunday.
You got that right.
Or Thursday or Monday or wherever they play, Saturday.
Exactly.
Whatever they put the straps, the pads on. But Coach, thanks for coming on and clarifying your points, because I think sometimes people get convoluted by my passion about the team, and they think I'm negative because I'm showing you the side that you may not want to hear, right? You may not want to hear, hey, we may only win 6 or 7 games. Here's why. Everybody wants to go in optimistic and win 11. Shoot, I want to win the Super Bowl and go 18-0 or 17-0, whatever the hell the damn schedule is now. I don't even know. Can't do mathematics. I'm not good. That wasn't my forte. My forte was talking, but that's what I got a grade for, talking. But no, my point is that I don't. And the other thing that gets me is this: I like Daboll, like I said. I can't just guarantee.
After you're done. Sorry.
Yeah, I can't just guarantee me a win because Daboll comes in, and because Jihad Ward, who by the way hasn't done anything in his career, comes in and says a few things like, "Hey, you ride with me or die with me." Great, good job, Jihad Ward. Your play, for me, Tiki Bar used to say it best. Your actions speak louder than words. Give it to me on the field. I don't care about your lip service in the media.
That's fair.
Logan Ryan did the same thing last year. Logan Ryan came out and said all the company lines that we need to hear. After losses, he's like, it's on me. I'm a bad leader. Great. Go out and produce.
Yes. The bottom line is what do you do on the football field? I'm not saying that. But I'm looking at the build up, because last year that was abysmal. For me, that was the worst football organization I have ever seen in all my years of dealing with football. And I'm talking about from a professional level. And for me to see that, I'm looking now at the rebuild, because everything was stripped down. So now I'm looking at the little step by step, brick by brick build up. So, I mean, we can sit and go. You talked about 2007. 2007, nobody expected us to win the Super Bowl, and look what happened. So, to me, it goes both ways. I always say it goes both ways. Am I waiting for the season? Yeah. Am I waiting for preseason just to get a little inclination? Yes. Am I going to analyze things? Yes. That's what I do. But, that'll also give me a little better assessment. But also, in the same token, maybe 4 or 5 games into the season, I'll get a better assessment. Where do we stand with injuries? How are the guys producing? Are we relying strictly on rookies? I mean, all those things factor in for me. So yes, you want to not put it all on the table right now. You want to see. I don't have an issue with that. I can understand. I can respect it. That's why I say it's 6 to 11. I'm sorry, the floor is 6, the ceiling is 11 for me, and I just like having that wide window because. If I say 11 or 12 or 17-0, you guys can hold me to it. I mean, so.
I love that. I think Mac wanted to say something.
No, just addressing this thing about this whole schedule thing, man. Put this thing to bed right now, man, about this schedule. Look, honestly, the New York Giants have not earned the right to look at their schedule and think it's solved. I mean, it's just is what it is. Last year, what was soft? The New York Giants was soft last year. That's what was soft. So
right.
we can't just overlook anything, because no team that's on our schedule this year right now coming up, we would have beaten none of those teams in the month of December last year. I'll tell you that right now. That was the absolute worst New York Giant football I ever seen in my life. At being a fan for 30 plus years, I've never seen a month of football as bad as December was for the New York Giants last year. I feel like we would have gotten beaten by Georgia or Ohio State at last year during the month of December.
I mean, by Rutgers. Rutgers would have beaten us.
You might handle this.
Appalachian State would have beat us.
So,
Yeah.
All this schedule talk, it means nothing to me, man. I get it. We're playing against teams that were ranked down there with us, which is the bottom tier of the league. But at the same time, as far as I'm concerned, all of those teams at the very least finished their seasons stronger than the New York Giants a year ago. So
Yeah,
I just
we were
I just
third and
can't
9.
get on board with the schedule.
We decided to give up, give up play. So I get it, man. That's what, Mac, you explain everything so eloquently and put my conjumbled, Charlie Brown, adult talking voice in perspective and wrap it all in a bow for me, because you give the points that I can't make because I'm like, bah! And you're like, well, this is what I see, right? And for me, if anyone's seen Mac, listen to Mac, because this is why we are like two peas in a pod, right? I go crazy. Mac is like the cerebral assassin. He's the Triple H. I'm the Shawn Michaels, right? And so for me, I do the crazy things. I'm like, yeah, and I'm out there dancing. He comes in with a sledgehammer and just lets you know how it's going down. So that's what I believe. Like, what have they done for me to even be excited about them being Detroit? Everyone's like, oh, we'll win in week 2. No problem. Carolina. Like, no problem. Detroit. Chicago's a dumpster fire. Like, come on. Like if I were 7-10 or I could see the arrow pointing up, I don't even know where the arrow is pointing right now. I don't even know if we have an arrow. We barely can afford an arrow right now with our salary cap problems. I bet, so while Coach, I like your opinions and I love what you're doing. I'm with Mac on this. I'm riding that Peapod with him because, they need to earn it for me. This season for me as a fan is you got to earn it for me. New regime, you got to I don't want to be false hope. Like last year or 2 years ago, false hope. Judge coming out there saying, I'd never do what the Eagles did. Blah, blah, blah. We're like, yeah, we got the coach of the future. Next thing he comes out and he's running 3rd and 9 in December. So for me, I'm like, Dable, you got to do something. Yeah, it was beautiful butterflies and rainbows up in Buffalo with Josh Allen. That #1 defense. Remember, their defense is #1 in the league. People forget about that too. Even though it fraudulently showed up against Kansas City, I want my refund for that defense. But let's see what happens. Everyone like, oh, Josh Allen, Daniel Jones. Okay. That's great, but let's be honest, the talent level drops a notch. We're going from a team that's going to the Super Bowl or projected to go to the Super Bowl, or at least be one of the representatives at the end, to a team that can barely afford a lawn chair. It's like, here, we have land for sale. Come on and buy it and build your team up. And until they build me something I can actually sink my teeth into, I can't be excited about anything. Now, I'm going to be a fan, like you guys said. I'm going to be excited come Sunday. I'm going to have my gear on. I'm going to be yelling like the maniac I am right now through the TV, like they can hear me down in Tennessee. Like, oh, hey, great guys, But during the days leading up to the game, I have to be real. I get slapped in the face with reality. I'm sorry.
Hey, I get you. I understand. I mean, that's years of getting knocked down and you're waiting to see a reason to get up. That's how I look at it, where, I'm just, kind of like Mac, I'm staying even keel. I give them a big window, to see where they're headed, and as a coach, that's basically all I'm looking for. I'm looking to see how we're progressing every practice, every game, are we getting better as we go along? And you're right. They have to earn your trust and your emotions and your investment to really buy in completely 100%. I get it. I respect it. I just
you're a coach.
Mm-hmm.
You're a coach, and you know how it goes. You have to win over the players and then win over the fans. I mean, the only people that are going to change it are the people in that locker room. But until I, I want to get excited. I feel like people think I'm not excited. I'm excited out the wazoo. I just can't go down the road where I'm just blindly have blind confidence. I have to be like, right. I have to have you tell me and show me at the end of this that we're going somewhere else, because we've done this song and dance for so long.
Like you said, like I said, I'm a coach, right?
Yep.
It's a player. All right. I'm seeing you have the talent. I'm looking at you in practice. You still have to earn my faith to put you out there on the field. So yes, I mean, Slayton, prime example. Yes. I mean, even I thought, okay, maybe he's going to stick around with his money, and now they're just signing 2 more guys, and that tells me all I need to know, that he's he may be on his way out the door. So that goes into the coaches building trust in what he can do. You as a fan, the same exactly.
Well said. Well
Oh,
said.
well said for real.
Brilliantly said, Coach, and all you guys too. Fantastic
Absolutely.
job.
And thank you so much for calling in, Coach. Like for real. That was some knowledge you just dropped. And premium, Coach had his own premium takes, man. I love that. Good stuff. Jeff,
make sure you sub up to his channel too. Just make sure you sub up to Coach's channel too. He's got some great stuff going on there. One of the most humble, down to earth, give you those fantastic takes from a coaching perspective. So please sub up to his channel if you haven't already. If somebody could drop in the link for him. And all I want to see with this team, I just want to see a healthy team, something we have not seen for so long. I want to see Barkley go out there and at least give us a chance to see what he can do for a full season. I'd like to see Daniel Jones go out there and play most of the season, so at least we can get a 1,000% true evaluation on this guy, even though some fans are pretty much got their evaluation on him. I want to see Galladay, Tony, Shepard, and these wide receivers have a chance to come back and show redemption after the disaster they had last year, where every single one of them was too busy sitting on the bench instead of on the field. I want to see if this offensive line with the new pieces they come in can gel at a pretty quick, it's going to take some time, but could gel together and show us that we're actually have an offensive line to have faith in going forward. And a defensive line that I think's got the upside, but that can go out there and prove it on the field that we have ourselves a legit pass rush to get excited about. So that's what I want to see, is just a team that can go out there and be healthy, compete, and have a foundation start to be built, because it's not all going to come together in 1 year. Joe Shane and Brian Dable still don't have all their guys. So a lot of these guys on this team will probably not be here next year. They're still building this team. So expectations that high, it's perfectly fine. But I'm like you guys, I'm even keeled. I just want to see the little things and see something being built that's going to get us excited for the future coming up, not just this year, but going into the next couple of years. And it took teams like Buffalo and Cincinnati, some teams that are now showing Super Bowl tendencies, it took them a couple of years until they finally brought in their guys and had the culture there, had the team there, had their guys in there where they were able to develop them, and they start showing, the type of abilities and plays that they can, that they've been doing these past couple of years. So that's what I want to see, is just healthy team, foundation, young guys coming in, improving themselves, veterans coming in, and redemption in a way. Just give us a competitive product going into this season. That's it. And if we win some games, we'll all be happy. We'll be very ecstatic if we see, this team go out there and surprise. But in terms of expectations, show it on the field, and then we'll show our excitement. Like the fans are being realistic. We'll show our excitement when this team goes out there and gives us a reason to be excited.
Well, that's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for, yeah, exactly. You just said it right there. I'm looking just for a reason to be excited about this football team again, like I always was growing up. I grew up in a fairly good time to be a New York Giants fan. I was spoiled. I got to witness all 4 Super Bowl wins. It is. I grew up in a good time to be a Giants fan, and this right here, what I've been seeing these last about 10 years or so, it's just not good times anymore. And I want to get back to the good times. I want to enjoy this. I'm going to always love this football team, but I'm tired of these painful seasons, man, ending the way they have been. We got to get back on the winning ways, man. We are one of the most historic franchises in the NFL. It's not a good thing for the New York Giants to be bad. That's not a good thing for the league. Giants. I'm tired of
talking about the NFL draft in October. I'm tired of that. I want to actually talk about playoffs.
But playoffs right now. Right now, I got to slow it down. Playoffs, I want to see, like you said earlier, progression. Let me see some good, positive progression, and I'll be satisfied with that for at least right now going forward. I just want to see us continue to climb that ladder and become a better football team again and become respectable so we can be good for years to come. Not just build something to try to come in and sneak one in real quick and then go back.
Fool's gold.
We don't want 2016 all over again.
The fool's gold.
Foundation.
because that's what we always get is the fool's gold here. Is that, I don't want to be good this year and make the playoffs, and then next year, because we didn't build correctly, we're down in the dumps, and we missed out on maybe the quarterbacks or the top prospects because, hey, jolly old us, we won 8 games and we snuck into the back of the playoffs. The next year we get a harder schedule, and everyone's like, oh, this team is weak, and next thing you know, we're winning 6 games again, and we're back in the conundrum. Yes, so I want to see that. Just build that foundation.
And I think this team is finally building it the right way too, where a lot of these past years, while we weren't successful, they were too busy trying to build this team outside in instead of building inside out, where it seems like now they're finally understand that you got to build the trenches before you build the outside. And that's what it takes to have a successful team, also with a quarterback that can get the job done. But you need to have those trenches, be strong, because last year we brought in all these nice and pretty weapons. We had all these good secondary players, but we failed to fix up the two of the most important positions, and that's the defensive line and the offensive line. And those are two of the positions that killed us.
We also got a new GM and new coach. With new eyes might be a new direction for this team. So I think having new guys that had no giant ties is already a step in the right direction. Now let me see it translate to the field, right? Mm-hmm. Let's see their vision come to fruition, and let's give them some time. I know people are already arguing with me about, like, Adam, you're going to be, hating the coach in 3 years when they suck. No, I know now. Right now, and everyone knows, it's plain as day. They're getting at least 3 years. They're getting at least 3 years to develop this team, regardless of what happens. And so I want to see these 3 years, and I want to see improvement. I want to see how the draft classes come, because a lot of things that Max said, right, that 10 years has been poor drafting as well. They had a couple good drafts here and there, but look how many players they have signed from old drafts. There's the longest tenured Giant right now is Sterling Shepard. Okay. Sterling Shepard, and I mean, he's 28 years old, right? So we have nobody that has any history or anything like that. And next year, we're not going to have a lot of guys from the Dave Gettleman era still here. So let's kind of build, let's see what we're going to do with our money. Let's get a good foundation so that next year we're not necessarily buying a roster. We're buying complementary pieces to a roster that already is being built, right? The problem with the Giants is in 2016 and in last year is they spent on free agency and lacked in the draft. Now this year, it looks like we have a competent draft, people running the draft. So let's get in as many players as we can in the draft, build. Because if you watch, I hate to use basketball, you look at that Boston Celtics team, though, they had a lot of homegrown talent on that team, right? A lot of guys that are drafted, right? The Giants don't have that in their pipeline. And a lot of these winning teams do that. That's why the guys, fill in, because they're already in the system for a couple of years. And yes, their star player for that position leaves, but you have a guy that you've been grooming to come up and replace that guy when he does leave. Right, the Giants don't have that. Sterling Shepard's gone next year. Kenny Galladay's gone next year, possibly. Kadarius Toney could be gone. We have nobody, and I just want to see them build something, get guys in here that we can, name. Like when Mac was watching football, you had name guys. You had Carson Taylor and Reasons and all these guys on the team for a long time. They were there to build. Even in the 2007 and 2011 teams, you had Rich Soybert, you had O.C. Manura, Justin Tuck, you had Chase Blackburn. You had guys that all came up together and built that camaraderie over the years, and that's the fruit of their labor because they came in together.
But that's also another reason why next year, God forbid they don't perform up to, task. It also opens the door because, next year you have another crop of young players that you can add that goes into that building process, that step by step, where, even with Daniel Jones, he doesn't produce, guess what? He's out of here. So we're going to get another quarterback in here. I know many don't want to hear that, but guess what? He's going to be young, and he's going to be around a lot of young guys who are with him that he can go to war. You're a Yankees fan, right, Adam?
Yes, sir.
It's like the core four, right? Yep. So that's what you do. You build for the future. What does Shane say? Compete for the day, build for the future. So, that's basically where it is.
I'm going to get that on a T-shirt. I'm getting that on a T-shirt.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
I love it,
man, and it all starts up front. So, it starts up front, man. You get that O-line finally looking at least competent. I'm not
my boy, Sexy Dexy, baby.
I'm not looking for the best O-line in the league. I don't have to be that greedy, but just give me something middle of the pack.
Be that greedy,
like looking competent. I mean, yes, it would be nice to, but I mean, right now from what we've been at, give me middle of the pack at least, and
give us some of Nate Solder.
So much better.
Get me to 20. I don't want to be 31 or 32 anymore. Get me to 20.
I mean, just give me something, because clearly Saquon Barkley, he hasn't played behind a good O-line his whole career, and you saw what he did his rookie season while he was healthy. You know what I mean? So just get this man a little bit of something.
See, that's the guy I'm really excited about. That's the guy that I'm excited about. He's the guy that I'm really excited about this team. I know we've run a little long, but this topic is very good. But he's the guy that I know is going to have a breakout. There's just something about him this year. He looks like he lost a little weight, which is always a good thing. He looks like he's poised, and I finally got a competent coach that's going to use him where he needs to be used, and that's in the passing game. Sure, he can run, and he's one of the most magnificent runners I've seen in the past few years. But let's get him out in the passing game, shall we? Can we get a one-on-one against the linebacker and have him run down the field on a seam or something like that? I mean, we're seeing this guy.
Matchups, absolutely.
Exactly. I mean, my God. I mean, the Giants. I will tell you this. You won't be snoozing on Sundays when the Giants have the football, that's for sure. This year with Brian Daboll, you will not be going to go to the bathroom, get a beer, or heck, even take a nap like I did during the halftime of a game, because you don't realize how boring the Giants team is. You wake up and you're like, oh my God, they're still didn't score any points. Okay, I'll go back to sleep. You know what I mean? So this time you're going to be up all game, wire to wire, baby, because there's going to be scoring all over the place. However, we'll see how that goes. I mean, we'll see. I want to believe in it, but Pat Shurmur came in and had a decent offense the second half of his 2019 season. They were dropping points all over the place, So, and he was an offensive mind. We have another offensive mind coming in here. Let's see. I do like Wink Martindale. I think his defense is going to cost us games. Not that that's a bad thing, because they're just going to go all out. And sometimes you're going to have Darnay Holmes out there that might miss an assignment. You might have a guy go up the field 67 yards for a touchdown that might cost us. But hey, be aggressive. That's what the Giants lacked last year, is an edge. They lacked aggression. They lacked overall spirit. Like, there was no emotion on the sideline. There was nothing, zombies. Man.
Like you said, like nobody was a believer. Nobody was buying in, man. Or whatever Joe Judge and them was selling, wasn't nobody trying to buy none of that, man. It just wasn't working. It
was early too.
It just got progressively worse as the season continued, man.
But 4-13 is progress. I'm just kidding.
That being said, guys, we're coming up on the 2:30 mark. I'm gonna hand the mic back over to ED. Is there anything else you want to talk about before we get out of here, bro? And thank you so much for calling in, man. I really appreciate it.
It's my pleasure. I mean, you guys keep doing your thing, man. I really appreciate everything you guys do. For those of you who don't subscribe, hit the notification, and also post on all your social medias. Let's help take this to higher levels. Everyone. So, y'all keep doing your thing, man.
Thank you. Appreciate the kind word.
Appreciate it, Coach.
Thank you very much, Coach. And ditto for you as well.
Click that link. Turn that notification bell on, guys. Go sub and support ED, because I know I just did. So make sure you follow.
And make sure y'all give me critiques. Everybody's being nice. I want critiques. Yeah, I'm a coach, so critique me. So
you don't know what the hell you're talking about.
What is going on? We're winning 11 games. I'm kidding.
No, that's fine. But y'all have a good night and be safe, man.
Hey,
thanks a lot, man. Appreciate you.
Thank you very much, Coach.
Go right ahead, Matt. Plug your channels, and then we can get out of here. And the links are all in the description, as long as on screen. If you guys didn't already, make sure you go sub up to all these guys. Go right ahead, Matt.
Well, you can find me, MacDaGiantsFan, on YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. You know what I mean? MACDA Giants Fan. Got me and my guy Adam Costas. Be coming with that real deal NFC East roundup. Got an next episode coming next Thursday. Y'all gonna tune in for that. Make sure everybody tunes in for that. You see me here with my fellas, the Horsemen, riding each and every week with the Premium Takes podcast. So make sure y'all sub up to all four of us. You know what I mean? Sub up to me, Adam, Zion, Jeff. You know what I mean? Show us all some love, man. Make sure y'all definitely sub up to Coach Ed. Thanks again for stopping through, man. Really
well done.
Really gave us something special at the end of the show there, man. Really appreciate your wisdom and your knowledge, man. And that's what I got, man. Just sub up and tune in for that real deal NFC's roundup next week. It's gonna be straight fire.
Yes, sir. And premium takes on Sunday on Max channel. Let's get it, Adam.
Hey, listen, it's me. It's Adam. My name's Adam Costas. I do the Hurry Up. Sometimes I do a Hurry Up Live, where I talk about anything football. Mostly criticizing Daniel Jones right now because apparently people want me to talk about him and roast his ass. But that's all right. It's all fun. We do the premium takes, which is like a smorgasbord. You come here, get your buffet of sports, eat whatever you want, talk about whatever you want. We'll give it to you however you want. And then we got, of course, my show, my favorite show with Mac the Giants fan, NFC East Roundup next Thursday is going to be fire. You better bring your extinguishers, people, because you're going to need to put out the fire. It's going to be so good. They're going to hear it from here to California and back. And of course, these four guys here, these are my ride or dies right here, the four horsemen. They've been with me through thick and thin. And I love these guys. Wouldn't want to do a podcast with anybody else. Coach, I want to say shout out to you for coming on later in the show. That was fantastic. That's what we need sometimes is we need we want you to give your point and get it clear so we all know what you're saying and it's not convoluted. But hey, guys, thanks again for a great time on this Thursday evening. Afternoon. I guess the sun's still up, so I thought it was afternoon, but I'm rambling on. But Jeff, hey, take it away.
I just want to say thank you very much. I appreciate everybody stopping by to watch the show today. And if you want to reach me, NYGJeffyT3285. I sometimes go undercover on some of the news and topics with the New York Giants, the Brooklyn Nets, the New York Mets, and the WWE. And also, please put up those fours for the four horsemen of the YouTube Giants community. So please throw up them fours, everybody. Yes, and thank you very much, Coach, for coming on to the show today and giving some amazing, level-headed, great takes. Always appreciate, love the work that you're doing on your channel. Not just New York takes. We
deliver with everything.
New York Knicks and Rutgers. He even did a story on Rutgers women's basketball not that long ago. And if you guys catch us every single Sunday for premium takes, like Adam just said before, it's going to be on Mac's channel this coming Sunday. So please make sure you hit up on Sunday evening for the premium takes. And one more time, throw up them fours for the four horsemen of the Giants community. Thank you very much. And everybody, have a fantastic night.
Woo!